Hello, beautiful people. We are here for our annual week. Well, no, not annual, weekly horror Saturday. Why did I just say annual? I don't know, but we here and we talking horror, and today we are talking Tales from the Hood and just anthology horror in general. You are hard pressed to find anything in horror that I'm not at least semi well versed on. Anthology would be what I am the least versed on. So I will be excited to hear what the other ladies have to say on the anthology horror. But you know, I'm black, so I know all about Tales from the Hood. So we're going to get into that, and we are going to get into everything, maybe the devil, maybe hell. But let's go ahead and get this thing started if I can get myself together, because you know, if I can speak. But let's go ahead and bring out my beautiful panel so that we can go ahead and get things started for you guys. Up first, you know, I have to keep things diverse. Okay, we keep things diverse over here. So I have to have a blurred on the panel. So y'all, please give a warm blurred welcome, even though she won't let me into the blurred crew. Y'all, we got Kay Blah of A Slice of Horror. Kay, are you ready to talk anthology?
Yes, I don't know why you don't like the anthology stuff. I'm here for a good short story. I love anthologies.
I don't know. It's just not something that I really gravitate to. And the few I've seen, I wasn't very impressed with. But last but not least, let's bring out, you know, the one I love to have on the panel, because if it's going to be anything with gore, boobs, nudity, 70s, Tyra going to be a part of it, and she going to love it. Y'all, please, Tyra of Struggle Reviews TV, are you ready to talk Tales from the Hood?
Yeah, I want to know why you ain't been watching no anthologies. Why you tripping?
I mean, I've seen a few. I saw Body Bags. I saw Creep Show.
Good
I'm
stuff.
not a fan.
That's the good stuff. You didn't like Creep Show?
Well, now Body Bags I saw within the last few years, so I can remember that vividly. Creep Show I saw when I was like a kid, so I can only vaguely remember it. I guess I should have freshened up before this episode, but you know, I know y'all gonna get me right on the anthology, so I'm not worried about it. But make sure that you guys drop your favorite anthologies in the comments, or if you're like me and you're not really into that subgenre, let me know that as well. But first off, we are going to get into Tales from the Hood and all things this classic movie. But before we get into that, let's take care of a little biz naive, okay, in the words of Scrappy, and let's cut to our killer commercial.
What's your pleasure?
What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton? What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
What's your pleasure?
We have our viewers' choice segment at the end of the episode. So if you have any particular horror question, horror topic, horror verses you would like for the panelists to discuss, then send your super chat and we will get to them all at the very end. Now let's go ahead and get into what makes Tales from the Hood a classic, or is it a classic? Kay, do you consider Tales from the Hood a classic, and what exactly makes this movie a horror classic?
I'm black. This is a black horror classic. This is not just a black horror classic. This is a black classic in general. And I don't like when this don't be included in the conversation of classic horror movies. And it's because it was it took hood movie elements and added horror in there. You know what I mean?
The hood elements with the horror, because the hood is horror, but
Yeah, and see, it got the hood people watching horror movies. It's like you get a 2-for-1. Because I grew up watching hood movies, okay? Boys from the Hood, Juice, New Jersey Drive, Don't Be a Menace, Menace to Society, all that. And then you take my favorite thing of horror and you throw it in a hood movie together. I don't know. Maybe this was what I was needing back then. My family loved this movie.
Tyra, do you consider Tales from the Hood a classic, and what makes it a classic?
Hell yeah. Wait. Hell yeah. Absolutely, this is a classic. I dare anybody not to say it isn't. Like, if something is officially a classic to me, especially in our Black neck of the woods, if you go like, oh yeah, Tesla, I've never seen Tesla. Like, when people get to try to revoke your Black card and Blackness because you never seen a movie, it's officially a classic, and this is one of those. Matter of fact, this was one of the like first real Black horror movies that I remember. It's always this one, and it's always Candyman and Blade. Those are the ones that stick out in my mind as a kid. That I was like, oh, we're here and we're in horror spaces. I never get to see us over here. Like Kay said, we do get reflected a lot, especially back then in the more so hood movies, but this was just different. It was a mixture of the two. And with every anthology, because I happen to love anthology. I love anthology horror. You get multiple stories in one film. You know who doesn't love that? But this one managed to, I can't say this one because all of them, any anthology, for whatever reason, they like to have a moral. There's like a moral in the story or a lesson or some type of complex that you need to overcome. But they were able to combine that with Blackness and social commentary and make this specifically for us. And I was like, oh, we like that. We need more stuff for us.
And you know what? I love that aspect. That's one thing. I love just a brainless, fun horror movie. But I personally love a horror with like a heart to the story, with a moral to the story, with like an overarching theme or something to take away from it. So yeah. I definitely love that aspect when it comes from Tales from the Hood. And I feel like you, Tyra, and I mean, we grew up around the same time. Like when I think of growing up watching horror, of course, like all the final girls, all the villains, all the heroes, the main cast is always white. And the moments that stick out for me as a kid was seeing Jada Pinkett be a final girl in Demon Knight. It was seeing Tales from the Hood. It was seeing Candyman. Like those are like prominent moments that I can remember growing up. And you know, we love to revoke somebody's Black card, and this is absolutely that movie where if you can't play spades, if you haven't seen Tales from the Hood, we revoking your card real quick, like. Now, when we get into Tales from the Hood, I personally think it's classic because top to bottom casting, the visuals, even though, you know, we're going to get into some of the words. I do think the effects get a little shaky around the end, but I think top to bottom, this is just the epitome of a classic, amazing horror tale, Black, white, whatever. It's just a classic movie. And getting into Tales from the Hood, best scenes, worst scenes in the movie. Tyra, do you have any best or worst scenes in Tales from the Hood?
Child, the best scene is like it's hard to give like best scene because anything with Clarence was the best scene as we were getting to the shit, as he says. Until we actually get to it, every single scene with him is a great scene because if you're watching this, you think he's a little obscure, weird, but you never think he's who he ends up being. Especially if you watch for the first time, you don't know that. You're just thinking he's just this creepy mortuary man and he's buying time until whatever because he's in here being held at gunpoint by these criminals. You don't know. But once you get like hindsight in 2020 and realize that he's trying to mask his true identity and it's just hot as hell. He's sweating the whole time. It's just getting more and more intense. Going back to watching now as like an adult, I was like, this is good. Goddamn, Clarence, this is wonderful. He did a really, really great job. But the best scene is going to always be the reveal in the end, even though, like you said, them shoddy effects. Because who got it was that tongue. That tongue pisses me off. What animation was that? Okay, who did that? That pisses me off every time. but the effects on him physically as the devil and just that reveal and the just welcome to hell, it's epic. I think that's the best scene in the movie. Worst scene, it's not a whole lot of like worse, because even with this, I was gonna say when they kind of get out of the frame of horror, but this is very much so kind of hoary with hints of comedy, especially when we get to the little thugs in the mortuary, like they're pure comedy. I can't even think of like a scene where I'm like, I hate this scene. There are no scenes for me that I feel like are bad. None. Mm-mm.
Wow, that's so interesting. Because if I had to say worst scene in a movie, I would say it is right after the reveal when the thugs are like, "You trying to say we dead, man?" And then it all the fire comes when they Harlem shaking in that fire.
It's funny.
I hate that scene. Like it looks so shaking. Like they are Harlem shaking.
They Harlem shaking. That's
Oh
my
my
opening for my Tales from the Hood review. I say we Harlem shaking in the fiery pits of hell. That's the opening in the video. That's why I love that part.
I hate that scene. I'm like, why are y'all Harlem shaking in these CGI flames? Like, and I can just imagine the actors like on set just having to do all of it. I feel like it takes me out. Like they're in hell. That's supposed to be something tragic and serious, and them Harlem shaking takes me out of that. But if I had to say best scene, and I agree, like it's like picking your favorite child. Like it's so like the whole movie is iconic. But if I had to think of best scene, I absolutely positively love my guy. Oh shoot, his name just escaped me. Who is my guy who is the abuser, who is the monster?
David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer. Thank you. When I think of David Allen Greer, the range of the fact that at the time of Tales from the Hood, I just knew him for being a comedic actor. And I love how in his role where he's this monster and he's an abuser and it's supposed to be serious, but it's halfway kind of funny. My favorite scene, honestly, is when he's like, "Ain't over, bitch." Like that lives rent free in my mind. Like I love him. It's like it's
serious, right? This ain't over, bitch. Like, oh, David, you're gone, baby. You're smushed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Just die.
That was that scene. Like I play that scene over and over and over again. Like it's gold to me. Kay, do you have any best? Well, I know you got some best scenes, but do you have any worst scenes in the movie as well?
Yes, best scenes. And this part used to scare me as a child, and then I had to realize that I wasn't a racist white person, so I don't have to be afraid. But when them picking any doll things was popping out in pictures, them little things, because see, I don't like Puppet Master, and it reminded me of the little things from Puppet Master, and I didn't like that. It was creepy, but then I don't have to be afraid of them. But that was creepy as a child. But I really think that they really brought the scare factor with those. So I love that when they all like band together. I'm like, see, this is what we should be doing on PlayStation. But as we move further along, I'm with Tyra. I tried to figure out if I had a scene that I don't like. I couldn't think of any either. I don't. I like the Harlem shaking in the.
It looks so stupid.
I always feel like Black people, especially the ones that are not well versed in horror, need they need an ounce of comedy. They need a little comedy relief in their horror for them to stomach it better. And I think Jordan Peele does a good job of that. Like he knows this audience. He knows Black people are going to support him, but a good bit of us are scared to watch horror. But if you break the tension up with some comedic beats like that, it makes it easier for them to stomach. So I like also, and even with the David Allen Greer being himself, like we need those tidbits mixed in the horror stuff for people to digest it better.
I can't be mad at the ending Harlem Shake if we open the movie with like, what does he say? Like, how the hell you gonna refry some beans? Why you just didn't fry the shits right the first time? Like they it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, but I love.
They're my favorite though. Those stupid 3 gangsters that we follow with Clarence Williams in the mortuary. I love everything they say is hilarious. I love them. But it's so interesting you say that, Kay, because I'm actually the opposite. Like, I love this movie. I love the comedic moments, but I actually am I'm not a big fan of comedy in my horror. I don't like to be any type of alleviation from the tension. I want it to be dark and bleak. And I guess that's why that Harlem Shaking just always irked me, because I'm like, they're in hell. Like, this needs to be dark. Like,
you gotta bring the black people back. They don't want it to be too serious. You got to give them a little chuckle.
He had to give them a reprieve after the splash rips off, and it's like, oh Lord, this oh Lord, is this hell? Is that the devil? Then you're like, okay, look, bring it down. We're gonna Harlem Shake for a second, but when let the movie go out, that's what we gonna do.
And of course, every single solitary scene with Clarence Williams III, Mr. Mod Squad, is the greatest scene. Like, I think one of my, it's hard, but one of my number one favorite scenes with him is when one of the gangsters is like, "Are you for real?" "Yes!" And then they like jump. I feel like the actors did not expect him to yell yes like that. Like, I feel like their reactions were really authentic.
You know what I love with Clarence, like, especially for like budgetary reasons, hence the Harlem Shaking and the fiery pits of hell. Clarence don't have one prosthetic on throughout the whole movie. It's all just his real face. Like, he looks sinister as hell. The teeth, everything is just naturally his face. I love that.
I swear to God, like, he should have got an Oscar for this role. Like, this role, he should have been on the Oscar stage. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, every moment, every line, it's like he's in a league of his own. I just love him so much in this movie.
That's what they was trying to make Candyman do in that bitch ass movie, and was not even close.
Wow.
You know what? We talking black horror. Should we bring back bitch ass?
Don't do it. Because I'll be trying to tell other people to watch it, because I want them to be mad, just like I was mad. I'll be telling people, "Oh, y'all want to watch something? Watch bitch ass."
No.
Now, when we get into anthology horror, of course, you have multiple tales in the movie. Which tale in Tales from the Hood was your favorite, Kay? And I mean, it's hard for me to, like, I know it's like hard pressed to pick which tale. My favorite tale is David Allen Greer. Like, I just feel like I love the mix of a little, like, it ain't over, bitch. Like, I just love him saying, "Oh, you want to kill somebody?" Like, everything he says is just gold. But Kay, if you had to choose, which tale would you say is your favorite one amongst the four?
Oh, that one. I remember clearly watching that one growing up. And I remember watching it for the first time, and how the teacher was like checking on them. And first of all, they put a black man teacher in the classroom. So salute to them for doing that in the 90s.
Director of the film, Rusty,
yes. He's done some more stuff in the horror genre. But they had him being a black male teacher, a positive black male role model, checking on a child who was seemingly abused. They
make the mama a hoe all at the door. "Hello, sir. Are you here to check?" Like, man, Paula just had to be at the door. She just had to be up there with all her titties in the teacher face, trying to put on her little slip dress.
I love that he was being so, I know they had that. It's the 90s, y'all know. But I love that he was concerned about his student in that manner, to want to know, like, because so many young black men go flying. That's what the mixing the hood stuff into the horror, and there's so many of them that fly under the radar that we don't really, nobody says anything, nobody's doing anything about it. And he was just like, "I want to go check on this kid." And I remember watching as a kid, because that's every kid's nightmare, to think that there's a monster under your bed or in the closet or something, and that's like a nightmare. And like the little boy said, nobody's gonna believe me. That's also a nightmare too, that there's going to be something in your house trying to torment you, and nobody's going to believe you. And then lo and behold, here we go. And David Allen Greer, and this was in the In Living Color era. Okay. So we was trying to see David Allen Greer in that role, being him, because they had us, him being this big bad, but we also know that he's very hilarious. So I love that we thought it was a monster, but it's his abusive stepdad. And not only is he this angry, abusive man, but he also doing it with that element of just foolishness in it. I don't know. That episode, they could have made that one like a full-length movie. We could have got some more characters and stuff. We could have got a family that he was. I don't know. That we could have did stuff with that story.
Kay making up all kind of stuff with this movie. But I will say what you just said about the mom, which shout out to that actress. I love that actress so much. But I kind of really don't like the portrayal of the mom. Like, even when she like is telling her son, you know, she fuss at him when the teacher come in, and I think she either pinches his ear or slaps him on his butt. She does something to like reprimand him for telling these tales. Ma'am, your son is being abused. Like, I don't know. I just really didn't like how Tyra said, the way she answers the door, her attitude to her son. And then I feel like it's a weird shift when the fight starts. She's very much trying to protect her son, even when, you know, David Allen Greer pushes her hairline back like Ghost did Natasha. Like, I'm saying, like, ma'am, but you were just fussing at your son.
No, what I love is like she's all in fear, but your ass wasn't in fear enough to not be up in here all up on this man. And it's like, oh, he pulled up. Let me put on a sweater. Like, ma'am, you wasn't that damn scared.
This is a hood classic. They just wanted to add some fear in there, but this was hood tales right here.
I love it because you know she was in fear. That's why she was slapping Tyler. Like, don't say nothing. We both in fear around him. Like,
we don't want the calling the law, because if the teacher say something, they're gonna call the law. The law gonna come up in here. This man gonna beat me again. They may have drugs in the back. Okay, we don't know who's busting up in there at the time. I'm just saying.
She was trying to put them titties on his back. She had time for that.
Kay, where you get drugs from? Kay just be making up wild tales. Where you get drugs from, Kay?
Drugs in the knife fight. If Kay got anything to say about it.
But I'm just trying to expand on where we could have went.
You making up stuff. You making up stuff that ain't even in the movie. Tyra, which one would you say is your favorite tale?
It's hard because I like all of them. And this is one, and I can understand why you maybe don't gravitate towards anthologies, because sometimes you might get one or two really good anthologies, and then the other ones are kind of dilute as they go on. But all of these are really good. It's a tie between the first one and the last one. Even though I like your little nappy heads, I always love that one. But that first one, like just as far as impact, like the "Where were you, brother, when I needed you," and the whole zombie dead thing that he is and coming back for that vengeance. But I'm gonna go with I think it's called Hardcore Convert, not Convict. It's Convert with Lamont Bentley as Crazy K. I think that's probably my favorite one because it's the most impactful, especially for the time, and it being 95 and what was going on, what was being depicted in real life in our movies, and just black on black crime and whatnot, and gang activity. And then I just like the graphics, or just the meaning of them putting him side by side in that cell with that white supremacist, and maybe having a revelation of what you're doing and what you're standing for. It's not really what you think it is. You're really over here with me, brother. So I like that. Or just the child, first of all, because when you get into graphics, because I can remember watching that as a kid, and when they have the flash scene where he's like in the deprivation chamber. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I think that really threw me off center. And I really just admired what they were able to do with just the minimum effects of that. And also tying in like old school, lynchings and slavery, and tying that into the violence. And now it just played on your senses a whole lot. And I can appreciate the scene for that. And even when his victims come back and they're talking to him in there, and just everything is
wrong, man. That shit was wrong.
Really wrong. That shit was really wrong, G.
I was like, is this Hakeem?
What I need you to do is stop fucking with my mind, man. Like, a bullet ain't got no name on. Like, what?
And shout out to him too. I love him.
They were just like with David Allen Greer. Like, at the time, I only knew that was Hakeem from Moesha. I was like, oh my God, Hakeem. Hakeem is out here thugging in these streets. Just that, and kind of tying it in full circle with the three dudes in the mortuary. I'm gonna go with the last one.
And I also feel like it's a hard feat to tackle the topics Tales from the Hood tackles without feeling preachy. Like you
Yeah.
still feel like you're watching a movie, you're being entertained, there is a moral, but it does not feel preachy or like it's trying to beat you over the head with the message. Like I feel like that is extremely hard to achieve. And I wonder if this movie would even fare well today because, you know, it's a certain group that love to say everything is woke. But it's just so on the money. And I just love the way it does not feel preachy. Like it is just a legitimate, great tale after tale. And honestly, you know, I know you a G Tyra, but it is honestly hard for me to stomach the story with the Martin Luther King-esque character that gets beaten. That is, and then they play that damn song, that song. Oh my God. Like it is honestly
The Strange Fruit.
Yeah, you know, that's a song they always go to.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it is really so hard for me to stomach that scene. Oh my God. Like it's
I love it. I love that. Like, oh, we're about to panic. Well, when do we start to panic? Like, oh Lord. It's just really, really good. Like the effects where they need to spend a couple coins, they spent them in the right place.
Yeah.
Outside of that tongue. We needed a little piece of prosthetic, or they should have just left that out. Everything else is fine.
I feel like they might as well had just like created an actual tongue to put in his mouth because that little fake ass Sega Genesis lizard tongue was not working.
So which one is your favorite tale? If it's not, you say it's hard to stomach. Is that one your favorite, the first one, or is it the
Well, you know what? Let me find, because I don't want to say the same one Kay said, because I did say it was the one with David Allen Greer, but to say a different one, it would be the one with the Martin Luther King-esque character that gets beaten and killed by the cop. Because I feel like that would be my favorite because it does have good, like we already said, comedic stuff. Like you said, when do we panic and like all the little stuff they put in there with the cops? But it's also very hard hitting to me. Like it feels very emotional to see this happen to him.
It's current. Everything here is still relevant, which is sad. Every single tale here is still relevant. So it impacts you.
And I feel like seeing stuff like this, I don't know if other demographics really grasp why like the Black community like has made such a fuss about like representation in movies and the Oscars and all this stuff, because like the actors in this movie, like I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but the lady who plays the mom in the yes, and like Hakeem, like these are really like trained professional high level actors, but they didn't have like the careers that I would expect people with their talent to have. It really bothers me. I'm just like, this is why like we say what we say about representation and how our talent and stuff isn't awarded and showcased like other people. I'm just like, it makes no sense that these people should not have been the biggest movie stars in the world.
I didn't rewatch this. You got so much stuff stuck in my head. I'm like, what about my dreams? Huh? What about my nightmares? It was good. And then like the soundtrack, every single scene, and just tying in like that
great soundtrack
with the scene, really, really, really good soundtrack. I didn't go watch the movie. I went and listened to the soundtrack though.
I rewatched it. I actually saw Tales from the Hood a few weeks ago, and then I rewatched it earlier this week. It's so rewatchable. I love this movie.
This is must viewing for me at least like once a year. So even if I didn't rewatch it this week, I rewatched it sometime this year already.
And what was surprising to me, I actually I knew we had a Tales from the Hood 2. I did not know until yesterday that we have a Tales from the Hood 3. I had no idea that came out a few years ago. I didn't even know. I don't know how the hell all these other, Dane C always talk about I be digging in the crates. I don't know how all these other movies be on my radar, but Tales from the 3 wasn't. But of course, Tales from the Hood, the sequels, have not made the impact of the first one. And I have never seen 3, but from what I saw, Tony Todd was in it. It did not look of the caliber of the first one. Tyra, why do you think the sequels did not work the way that the original did?
Oh boy, I tried so hard. Now you just got me. I just see Keith David. Welcome to hell. I'm like, David, what are you doing? Why, Keith? You're better than this. Why are you doing this? It's just, I saw what they tried to do. The attempt is there for them to try to tie in that same social commentary into a modern space. You still have, really beloved actors like a Clarence, like a Keith David, like a Tony Todd, different people in the horror space, all while still kind of reaching out and getting, like you said, the more so underrated actors or actors who are just starting out and getting them to be in this film. It's just not, the tales are just not hitting. There is a disconnect to where it's not walking that fine line of being social while also being not preachy and informative, but still being just digestible and really good and palatable for everyone. Some of the tales range anywhere from just completely outlandish and then just ridiculous, and then others are a little too on the nose and they're just comical but not in a good way. I did not like them. I'm thinking about that second one. I think that's the one where we kind of get the play on Emmett Till's story, if I'm not mistaken, in the white woman and the black man. Ain't that in the second one?
I don't know. I only acknowledge the first one. I have never seen 2 or 3.
Oh, well, there's a play on that, and they try to kind of tie Emmett Till's story into one of the tales, and I thought it was really done in like not a tasteful way. I didn't appreciate it at all. Like something is really missing. Even getting into like more themes of blackface and just certain, like the attempt is still there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Rusty Kadif, the same, man, writer, director from this film, he's also on the both of them. I'm not sure about 3, but he should be. I'll look it up. But it's just not, there is a disconnect in them trying to not only modernize it and make it very current, but the stories, it's just the writing is just not executed in a way that it was here in this first film. And I really wish that they would have just left well enough alone. I would have loved Tales from the Hood if we could have just left it at Tales from the Hood.
That's why I say that's the original is the only one I acknowledge. I have never seen, well, I only just discovered 3, but I've never seen 2. I have no desire to. You can pay me to watch it. Like, I don't want nothing, no parts of, like, I just only acknowledge the first one. But shout out to the 50 people with us in this live. Shout out. I see we got new channel members for Slice of Horror, for Struggle Reviews TV. So shout out to everybody becoming members. We all have something to offer for memberships backstage. Of course, I offer my killer after party, the KillerCon after party. I offer the watch-alongs, exclusive content. And speaking of memberships, Tyra and Kay are doing a members-only Vampire in Brooklyn watch along tonight with My Sweet Perspective. So if you want to get into some more Black horror, make sure you are members of their channels and check them out tonight. Kay, why do you think Tales from the Hood sequels did not work? Or did they work? Because we know you like The Happening. Did you like the sequel? Do you think they worked?
First of all, I thought everybody liked The Happening until y'all told me otherwise. Okay, I thought that was a thing. Yeah, so maybe they didn't do a good job of marketing it the way that it should, because I didn't watch either one of these. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't want to see Love and Hip Hop with a tiny ounce of horror, is what I felt like. From the little bit of advertising and marketing they did, it wasn't giving hood, it was giving ratchet. Yeah. And I'm not trying to watch ratchet horror movies. It's a difference, okay, between a hood horror movie and a ratchet horror movie. And I was like, this looked too ratchet for me. I'm not doing that. And sometimes I don't want to watch something when I know I ain't gonna like it and I'm just gonna say bad things. At least if I don't see it, I can't say nothing bad about it.
There's a cheap quality to these movies for some reason.
Yeah.
And it looks like which is, I don't want to be talking about them, but every, bitch ass, the
little low budget Black.
Yeah, it gives that, but at the same time you see like, oh, I know this Black actor. I know, like I told you, Keith David is here giving his best devil.
How you go from The Thing to Tales from the Hood, cheap ass sequel?
And then I think that's what also works so well with the first one. For so long, especially if you haven't seen it, you didn't know that Clarence was the devil. He tried to mask that as much as he could, and it was just about the stories. No, there's no underlining of maybe like, no, it's giving hell and demon devil as soon as you meet Keith David or Tony Todd in these stories. It's just not the same.
And shout out to the 55 people in the live, and shout out to everyone who sent super chats. Thank you so much. We will absolutely get to your super chats when we get to our viewers choice segment. So just a reminder, if you have a horror question, you want to pose a horror versus, if you have a horror topic you would like for the panel to discuss, you can send it with your super chat. So let's cut to our killer commercial.
What's your pleasure?
What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton? What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
What's your pleasure?
I'm so mad them sequels was sequeling like they did.
You talking about some effects in this film. Okay, go and watch some sequels.
I think I'll pass. But before I knew there was a recent 2020 Tales from the Hood, I was wondering if a updated current Tales from the Hood would work and if anybody would be on board for it. But I think now that I know there's a 2020 and they all shanky, is it just a unanimous no for an updated sequel, Kay?
If they put some money in it, I feel like if they give us a good director. Okay, I forgot Spike Lee was involved with this one. Give us a good director.
Mhm.
Bring back Spike Lee. Bring in Jordan Peele. Bring in Steven Spielberg. If we have to, give these people some money.
Spielberg.
Why are you calling for the white man? What are you fresh out the NAACP meeting? We need to keep this black.
Well, we know if his name is on it, Hollywood gonna give him some money, and that's what they need, and some real promotion. If that's what we need, give these people some money to make these movies good. Give them the budget to hire quality actors. Give them the budget to hire to get quality editors, some good directors of photography, and a marketing budget. Like if we gonna do it right, or leave it alone. No, I don't want another Tubi Tales from the Hood. I don't want that.
Tyra, are you here for an updated sequel? Yeah, hell nah.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Not just for that reasons, but the climate is just so different for horror, for Black horror, for movies. And you would think it when everything, it's woke, it's elevated in its social commentary. This was that without trying to be preachy. And this was from a time of people being susceptible and receiving things in the way that they should. The little PC culture and how I think, like, just imagine the first tale of, the cops being dirty cops and planning and very into what's going on in current events, but I could see stuff like, oh my God, the agenda was real with this film. How did every single cop in the world, nobody said that, but there's going to be like, just the climate is different. The internet is different. Like that, the abuse segment, like, so what are you saying? All Black children? That's not what it is. Or even, with the crazy case segment, like first of all, Black people, if you want to be real about it, though, the white tea man is really the one people would dissect the hell out of this. I just want it to be left what it is. It's a classic, and just leave it alone, please.
Now, if we step outside of the Tales from the Hood universe, Kay, how would you just feel about a current Black horror anthology? Like, it's nothing to do, not based in the world of Tales from the Hood. Would you be on board for that?
Okay, so And in my Ashley voice. Okay, so here's the thing. Um, Shutter came out with one not too long ago.
Mhm.
Y'all remember the horror noir
Horror noir.
documentary? I love
Yeah.
that. The documentary that was good. I recommend it to everybody. But then
Mhm.
they did this anthology called Horror Noir, and I feel like they had $50 and free Chick-fil-A
They
is what
had
they
Luke
made it
James. They had Luke James.
with.
Luke was there being weird.
They had Luke James. They also had what's the name from The Craft was in there,
Rachel
and
Yeah.
Hughes. Tony
Rachel.
Todd was there. You know, Tony, if horror in the check is clear.
Look, Tony
And
got no real validity because we know he'll sign up for any check. I'm
he
sorry, I
will.
love you, Tony, but
Apparently, all the budget went to Tony Todd. Okay,
Yeah.
because the rest of it did not go into It looked like an independent film for what they had, and I was like, in that case, y'all could have let me put one of my stories in here if this is what we was doing. Because I was disappointed in the short anthology. We can do so much better. Why is this the things that keep getting greenlit? It make it seem like we can't make stuff. But I know we can do so much better than that. I know we can.
You know who I want to see do a black anthology horror? I want Kay to do one. Kay, what is that short that I watched you did that I love? It was a short where the black people was driving through this town and a car broke down and baby had some fresh braids or something and she rolled out. I could not believe baby rolled out that car with her hair freshly done. Actually, it was actually really good. And I was like, we need Kay to get us a new good black horror anthology done.
That is my plan. I have stuff together to put together a horror anthology. I need somebody to give me some money so that I can like make it for real. But I have enough to do some horror anthologies. I need somebody call me.
Jordan Peele.
I got the stories right here. I promise they good stories. I just ain't got no money. Y'all ain't gonna have me looking like horror noir.
Kay said she not making her film with $50 budget. Tyra, would you be on board for something not connected to Tales from the Hood, but a current black horror anthology?
I would like to, but my issue is when it comes to our black anthology, it seems like we have to go to the hood or else. Like, I was trying to think of, because this is an anthology theme live. There's horror noir, there's Tales from the Hood, there's Snoop Dogg, Hood of Horrors, there's Flavor Flav's Night Tales. I'm like, we can have our own anthologies without just going to that lowest common denominator. And I know that, in the hood, in the projects and whatnot, that's where, most horrors and horrific things do occur, but we can still have it and make it modern and take our black characters other places beyond the hood. If we could do that, because I think you said, I'm trying to think with horror noir, wasn't that first tale, Kay, about that weird teacher? And she was kind of like a succubus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I think that one was my favorite one out of all of them. And it was probably because that was maybe the one where we didn't too much dive into, there were themes of social commentary, but it just happened to be surrounded by this little salacious school teacher and, this agenda that she had with school-age boys or whatever. It wasn't so much around the other sections that were more so, we're black and this is what's happening because we're black. Stuff can just happen just because we're us and we can just, be in the movie.
And that's why I need the Blurred to make one, because I don't want it in the hood either. I don't want the stereotypical black trophy ghetto hood thug gangbang. Like, I don't want nothing around, no drugs, even though Kay was accusing them folks of having drugs in the house. Like, I don't want none of that. I want just a genuine, like, Tales from the Crypt or Tales of the Dark Side, just like random horror stories that just so happen to center black characters. Like, that's why I'm like, not in the world of Tales from the Hood. But Kay, which hell is worse? The hell that baby got dragged into in Drag Me to Hell, or the hell that our homeboy gangbangers ended up in Clarence's funeral home?
If this is two different hells, I want to go to the hell where the homies is at. Chris Tucker said in Money Talks, I want to see all my friends, my cousins and stuff
Take me to jail.
in. Exactly. That's the one I'm going to.
I swear, I love YouTube and how I can connect with other movie people. Because when I say random stuff for movies, nobody know what I'm talking about. But the second they said that, I knew exactly.
Throw away the key.
Tyra, which hell is worse?
I mean, am I gonna be forever Harlem shaking in purgatory? Like, do we eventually like just ascend? Like, do we go? Like, is there somewhere else to go? Like, I don't. Everybody was just standing around Harlem shaking, and I don't know if I want to do that for the rest of my nun life. I want to be dead, but have purpose down there and be doing something besides Harlem shaking. And I feel like over there they might be doing something else. So I'm gonna go on over there with Drag Me to Hell. Maybe that old Betty's down there, and we can just talk about where everything went wrong and why she made sure I got that damn button back. I'm gonna go over there because if I'm gonna be just Harlem shaking in purgatory, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, if I had to pick which hell was worse, I definitely think Drag Me to Hell made baby being in hell very dramatic. Like, it was dramatized. It was hell. It was a little too comical over in the homeboy hell.
I just love how it extends, and he's like, yes, and they cut back to them. Why y'all still shaking? All right.
Tyra, who had the worst devil? We know KB needing faces. We got my guy. We got my guy playing Lucifer in Constantine. Of course, we have Al Pacino playing the devil in Devil's Advocate. We have Gabriel playing the devil in End of Days. And of course, we got Clarence Williams III playing the devil in Tales from the Hood. We have Viggo Mortensen playing Lucifer in The Prophecy. And we got the GOAT from The Witch that was the devil. And I actually love the behind the scenes story of this GOAT. Apparently, he was a real menace on set. He broke somebody's ribs. And the scene in the movie where he was standing on his hind legs, they literally just happened to get that shot. He just did that. Leave these animals alone. He ain't asked to be no actor. I love that he was a menace on that set. Tyra, which actor had the worst devil?
The worst? I mean, I'm trying to think of the performance in The Prophecy. It's not memorable to me. I remember that damn GOAT. I can't remember this devil's performance in The Prophecy. I remember everybody here except for that one. So I'm gonna go with that one just because it didn't stick enough to me to remember it, even though the GOAT actually has no dialogue.
But that GOAT, baby, without no dialogue, that GOAT was He was that GOAT was sinister. But I think you should rewatch Prophecy because Viggo Mortensen did a really great Lucifer. Kay, who had the worst devil?
I'm gonna have to go with my boy from Constantine because look,
I like that one in Constantine.
Because no, see, this is why. Because if I'm on my way to the upper room, okay, if by some chance the Lord said I get to ascend and you pull me back, that's evil. You see, I'm trying to get to the pearly gates, okay? The place that y'all didn't think I was gonna go. He was just like, look at me now. You ain't think I was gonna go in here. And the devil was just like, and you still won't. And you still ain't, don't stop me from my ascension that way. That how much more evil can you get than you see the Lord say, oh, that was yours? Not today. He gonna mess up again. Come on back.
Like, hey, what that got to do with that actor's performance?
Just made Kate mad. That was enough.
Exactly. Let that man ascend.
And I must be mixing you up with somebody, Tyra. I thought of this question because I could have sworn you said you hated Al Pacino's performance.
No, I
with somebody.
You used to be a brother. The money. What about the money? Huh? You like the money? Al Pacino was having the goddamn time of his life. I hated that we should be going into that film not knowing who the hell he could possibly
That's
be.
what it was.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted him to be an everyday, average, upper, businessman. Not,
Yeah.
so yeah, the money. Yeah. Okay, just tell me the devil, Al. Just tell him that.
He should have did good in that movie because Keanu Reeves gave up a good bit of his paycheck just to pay his ass for that damn movie.
And he should have,
better
as he
do good.
should have, as he should have.
That's
Because if
what-
nobody is aware, when I was 18, I got Al Pacino name tattooed on my wrist. That is the greatest actor of all time. Okay, he should have given up his paycheck.
See that? Where? See? Why would you do that?
I was 18.
Why would you do that? Nikki's weird.
How old was you when your mama let you watch Scarface?
Who does that, Kay? Who does that? Who does
Very young, Kay. I saw Scar.
Al
I have
Pacino.
never watched Pocahontas. I've never seen The Lion King. I was watching Scarface when I was a kid.
Wow.
Now
I love Scarface too, but I ain't getting him tatted.
I just
Why you
want
ain't
to
change your name to was it Al Pacino like in what was the Tropic Thunder?
Tyra, who had the best portrayal of the devil?
You know what? I love and respect everybody here, but I'm gonna go with Clarence the whole time. Like
No.
Clarence is undefeated in this space. I'm sorry. And I know he's never going to be acknowledged like he should, along with everybody else. Because I hear people a lot mention the guy from Constantine, or of course Al Pacino in his performance, or Tim Curry in Legend. But we rarely mention Clarence Williams, and I think he should be commended for what he was able to. Yes, it's gonna be Clarence. Okay, it's gonna be Clarence. I'm gonna go with Clarence.
They even mentioned, what's that lady who played the devil?
The devil.
Yes, they even mentioned her. Like, how the hell y'all mentioning her, but not Mr. Clarence Williams III? Kay, who had the best portrayal of the devil?
Yes, Clarence. Look at that face that he was making. That face let me. If I was, if like, I'm like, if this is what we doing in hell, I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to see this face my whole life. I'm not trying to do that.
No funeral home. So what you said? We dead, motherfucker? Yeah, very, goddamn it.
The way he said very,
very. This performance and his performance in Sugar Hill are absolutely my favorite from him. He delivers as an actor, and I wish he would have got more work.
That's why I'm saying this. Like, watching stuff like this halfway makes me mad, because I'm like, these actors should have been huge. Like, we should hear their names still. Like, do he have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Ain't that what all the stars be wanting to get there? Do he even have one? I don't even know, but it just irks me so bad. And I actually just saw a movie for the first time from the 70s. It was about a group of, my hair be freaking me out. It's about a group. I thought something was me, but it was my brain. It's okay. I know Tyra gonna know, because she a 70s girl. It's not horror though. What was the 70s movie where it was like a coming of age film with these black kids? The guy from Martin was like one of the teachers, and one of the kids died. They wanted to hook up with this girl.
Coolie High?
Yes, it was that. Is that what it's called? Coolie High? I was crying at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, Coolie High's emotional.
And of course we know some of those actors, but I was just like, why were these not, like, why didn't they get the biggest roles in the world? Like, they're so talented.
Glenn was doing what he needed to do in Coolie High, especially when he found Cochise on the ground. It's emotional. When he in the funeral pouring out a little liquor, you gonna cry at the end of Coolie High if you don't do nothing else.
I was crying like a baby.
You gonna cry? And then they got
so
the train
hard
going
to
by,
die and everything.
and his screams for help and his cries. It's like, oh Lord, somebody do something. Somebody help me.
They ripped my guts out. They
did.
really did. Oh my God.
Every time.
And now we are going to get into our Who Said That segment, where we are going to have a quote from a movie, and you guys have to tell me what movie the quote is from. Okay.
Now, I feel confident about my abilities on this one.
Oh, this is a good one.
Hey, why you say that? Don't
I don't jinx myself already. I
gotta do
shouldn't
my
have said
Wayne's
that out
World.
loud.
Okay, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Set
So
myself up
since
for that.
Kay's so confident, let's see in front of the 70 people in this live
Give me
if
this
you
one.
gonna get this. Okay,
Give it to me.
don't be Googling. We all go a little mad sometimes. Is that from Scream, Friday the 13th, or Psycho?
Come on, Kay. We believe in you.
I feel like that line was said in more than just these movies here.
It's not an answer. I told you to give it to me.
Psycho.
That is correct, Kay. I thought I was gonna trip you up by putting Scream on here.
I knew they was on there. You know, I know ain't nothing over there. I knew it was like, yeah, good.
I was hoping I would trip her up because, of course, Billy Loomis references Anthony Perkins saying that in Scream. Tyra.
What is this? All right.
We Belong Dead. Is that from Dawn of the Dead, Bride of Frankenstein, or Freaks?
What is Freaks?
A horror movie from the 50s.
With them little people and crawling, they try to.
One of Us.
Yeah, that
One
one.
of Us.
Okay, it ain't that one. It ain't that one. I ain't seen it in a long time. You don't just throw that in here all random. I'm gonna say Dawn of the Dead.
No, it is from Bride of Frankenstein.
Son of a.
Okay, Kay. They're here already, and you're next. Is that from The Crazies?
Why
The
you giving Kay the easy one?
Or Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Kay, I swear it's going down if you get it wrong. I swear, Kay.
It's an Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna give Kay two of the ones I know. The movies
Is there a Tumblr that comes with this game?
She doing this on purpose. You know it ain't, Kay. Don't start.
Okay, Tyra.
Yeah.
This is not a dream. This is really happening. Is that Rosemary's Baby, The Wailing, or The Cabin in the Woods?
It's Rosemary's Baby.
That is correct. See, I know you know your 70s movies.
I do. So why you ain't give me the ones? Go give me that. Give me that.
Kay, I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Is that from Psycho, Dracula, or The Silence of the Lambs?
I don't know this one.
Oh, okay, please. This is classic, Kay. Please, we believed in you. I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you.
If only I could pop up Tyra Banks saying that right.
Either this is Dracula or Silence of the Lamb. Is this?
Come on, Kay. You got it, Kay.
I don't. Did Buffalo Bills or Hannibal say this? I don't know. I'm feeling real cannibalistic with this. I don't know. See,
It is The Silence of the Lambs. You are correct.
The ending of the movie. I love it's Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter. And he's still at the phone. Dr. Lecter. He hung up, girl. He got that wig on. He about to go eat that man. Because you've been playing with him while I've been locked up in here for years. Love that movie.
Tyra, a boy's best friend is his mother. Is that from Don't Go Into the House?
now that's the easy one.
Friday the 13th or Psycho?
I don't know. Could it be Friday the 13th?
Is that your final answer?
I don't know. What the hell is Don't Go Into the House?
The movie you told me is a Psycho ripoff from the 80s.
Don't Go Into the House. Oh! A boy's best friend is his mother. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Friday the 13th.
That is incorrect. It is Psycho.
Lies.
It is Psycho. That's why I put Friday the 13th in here because I was like, I know they're gonna think it's Jason Lil
Where
Mama.
does he say that in Psycho? Does
I don't
Anthony
know.
say that? A boy's best
Yeah.
friend mother. Because you know I love Psycho.
Well, you need to brush up on it, babe, because you got that wrong.
It's been a while. Maybe she said that to him, you know, when they're just off and we just have those shots of the house and she's screaming, Norman, a boy's best friend his mother. She probably said it then. I probably forgot. Okay.
K, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, that
Is that from The Fly, Nightmare on Elm Street, or The Last House on the Left?
I feel like this is another line that's used in so many movies.
Dr. Lecter.
I don't know. I don't know if Jeff Goldblum would have said that. I don't know if he wanted Gina Davis to be afraid of him. And The Last House on the Left. I don't know. But do Freddie tell people to be afraid of him?
He would never.
This don't sound like something he would
This
say.
way, be afraid. Be very afraid. Yeah,
that's not giving Robert Englund right there because he's.
Well, who say he the character that said it? It's a lot of characters
Yeah.
in the movie, not just Freddie.
No, it's still not. And then on Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, that's before he got into his charismatic.
Hey,
days,
well,
so-
I mean, Tyra, why are you?
It would have to have a bitch in the end if it was said be very, very afraid. I feel like it would have had one of those. The Last House on the Left. Would they tell the little girl to be afraid? I don't know. This don't sound like something.
I know who said it, and I know what movie it is because I love the movie.
Okay, then it has to be The Fly because I don't think Tyra likes The Last House on the Left.
Competition because Kayla's finna
It can't be The Last House. I know you don't love The Last House on the Left like that. It got to be The Fly.
Nothing points from you, Tyra.
Sir, I didn't say nothing. I just said I love Nightmare on Elm Street. What are we talking
The
about here?
second you said that, everybody knew it was The Fly.
My bad. I won't say nothing else.
Tyra,
Man, what is this?
Mister, we've had a doozy of a day. Is that from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist, or Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I have no clue. I can't stand poltergeist like that.
Good for
love
you,
Texas
because you
Chainsaw
deserve to
Massacre.
do this wrong.
You love what's the name?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
I still don't. Nobody in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is saying doozy. I don't even think that's in the same universe.
Leatherface.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil is that comedy horror, right? Where ain't that the one with the wood chipper scene? And they're like, or is that the same movie? Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Or what am I thinking about something else?
That movie.
What is that one, Nikki?
It's a comedy with the two hillbilly guys where the kids are driving and they come across the hillbillies that they think are sinister and they do a bunch of stuff to get themselves killed.
Yeah, that's the right one. Did they say that? And that would be up their alley, so I'm not sure. I thought that was the right one. Mister, we've had a doozy of a day. That sounds like something Tucker and Dale would say. I'm gonna go with Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
You are correct, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
I don't like this. Y'all getting too much right.
Very. That's why I had to double check and make sure it was the right movie, because that seems like something like Mister, we've had a doozy of a day. Like they just keep trying to kill us. We didn't even do anything.
K, he has a husband's bulge. Is that Scream, Urban Legend, or The Cabin in the Woods?
That's so random.
You're muted, K.
I don't remember this line in Scream as much as I've seen Scream. I don't know if I said this unless they were having a conversation about some more horror movies and said this. I haven't seen Urban Legend in many years, so I can't tell you. And why would they talk about that in Cabin in the Woods? Why would they say that in that movie? I don't know. This is gonna be the one I get wrong, so I'm just gonna say B because I don't
I know
remember.
what I feel like it is.
I am so shocked that this was not like certain stuff like we need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger boat. I was like, oh, those are too easy. I thought this one was super, super easy. It is the cabin in the woods.
That's
Remember
what I was going to say.
Who said
Yeah.
that?
Because remember when they go to the basement and get all the creepy stuff, there was a diary and the girl said he has a husband's bulge. Then when the stoner comes in with the two characters, he says he has a husband's bulge.
Yeah, I don't recollect the cabinet. I was just going to pick that by default. I didn't know. But it don't, ring true like that. Unless you was going to give Chris Hemsworth like, all right, I'm going. Like he was trying to be all heroic and God.
That line I remember.
I would have remembered something like that, but it didn't come to mind like that.
But I'll be right back.
I just knew that was easy. And people was even in the comments like, I have no clue. I'm lost on this one. I'm really shocked that one wasn't super easy.
That's random as hell.
It was like a funny part of that movie. And they said it twice. Tyra.
Oh, hell.
The party's over. Is that from Night of the Creeps, Dead Alive, or Truth or Dare?
Well, I ain't gonna know Truth or Dare because I ain't watching none of that. If it was there, I wouldn't know. I wasn't watching that. Now, Dead Alive, I've seen Dead Alive. I love me some Night of the Creeps, but not enough to know because there's a whole party. I can see, Tom running in, like Tom doing all the 80s horror. The party's over. Get out of here. Like that's very Tom Atkins. Dead Alive. Because when he comes in, he has the lawnmower. He could say the part. I'm gonna go with Dead Alive.
That is correct.
Thank you.
It is Dead Alive.
You put stuff here, I know. I'm gonna get it. Don't be putting that.
Yeah, we ain't never playing this game again because y'all got too much right.
We can't succeed. We can't have one. we having one good day. We can't have nothing around here. She wants to see us all.
Now before we get into our horror trivia section, shout out to the 67 people here with us in this live. Make sure whichever channel you are on, because we are streaming from all three channels, Struggle Reviews TV, Slice of Horror, A Night of Horror. Please make sure you are supporting, being active in the chat, hit like on the video. If you are watching from my channel, please make sure that you go to the description box and go check out Slice of Horror and Struggle Reviews TV. And we have our Viewer's Choice segment coming up. Thank you so much to the people that sent super chats with your question, topic, versus for the Viewer's Choice segment. We will get to that at the end. We truly appreciate it. And let's cut to our killer commercial break.
What's your pleasure?
What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton? What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
What's your pleasure?
Y'all know that last little corpse that do that jump scare? That's how Kay look when she wake up in the morning.
Girl.
Now,
that lady,
look like that I look like that all day. Y'all be glad I get myself together to come on here.
Yo, that white lady screaming for nothing. Shut up. She takes me out every time.
I'm like that throughout the day until I come on here.
It's actually a scene from Life Force.
yeah.
Watch the movie.
They piss me off so bad in life force. I swear, are men as easy and stupid in real life for a woman as they make them out to be in movies? Because, sir, why were y'all falling for this alien lady just because she was naked? That movie pissed me off. Okay, we are going to get into our horror trivia, and hopefully with this segment, I can get some pain and suffering, and y'all won't be getting everything right.
All right, Pinhead.
We are going to start. We are going to start with Tyra since she over there shucking and jiving.
No, never mind. Do nothing.
What is the only George A. Romero film to open at #1 at the box office?
Okay.
Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, or Creepshow?
Okay. Creepshow is a George A. Romero situation?
Yes, he directed it. I think Stephen King wrote it.
Stephen King wrote it. Okay. Okay, I don't feel like it was Night of the Living Dead, especially for the time. Don't feel like it. I hope not. I feel like where he would need to be in his career for something to peak like #1, I feel like Dawn of the Dead would be like a sweet spot, and that's when everybody would be engaging enough to run that up. Because by that time, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dawn of the Dead.
That is incorrect. It was Creepshow in 1982.
Damn.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, Creepshow. Only George A. Romero film to hit #1. That's his only film to debut at #1 at the box
I
office.
would have got that wrong because I was gonna say Night of the Living Dead.
I would have thought it was Dawn of the Dead. I feel like that was, the peak of like, okay, that's good to know. I love Creepshow.
Yeah, and the clue should have been this is an anthology themed.
Oh, please spread that on your cracker. Spread that on your saltine and eat it. I don't want that. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, which actor from Tales in the Hood played in an episode of Tales from the Crypt series? Was it Clarence Williams III who played the mortician owner? Was it David Allen Greer who played the dad? Or was it Rosaline Cash who was the one who was trying to rehabilitate Hakeem? Which one was in an episode? What you say?
I said whatever choice is the last one.
You always go with C. Did that help you get your degree, Kay? Just passing your test, picking C.
Is she
sometimes
wrong?
B be too obvious, and they say, you know what? It's actually sometimes you got to pick C.
Well, that is incorrect. You do not get your degree today. Clarence Williams III was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, the series.
Which one was it?
Baby, I don't know what episode. He was in the most.
How you give us something you don't even know? You don't even know.
He was in there. And it was the original Tales from the Crypt series. I think not the one we grew up on from the later age. Tyra, your favorite movie.
Oh, Lord.
What is the name of the goat in The Witch? Billy Goat, Poppy, Black Phillip.
Black Phillip. Oh no. Hey, that sounds like one of the niggas in the hood. Yeah, hey, that go Black Phillip. No. I feel like for the Billy Goat would be too on the nose. That better not be it. That better not be it. I swear. Just for the time in the era of the film, I'm gonna go with Poppy.
It is Black Phillip. I just threw Billy Goat in there on my own.
Oh, you had to tarnish our we were going on our little hot streak we had going on. Here she come.
Okay, Kay, this one is a true or false. In an alternate ending for Tales from the Hood that aired on TV, Boys Do Get Bruised Tale, which is the one with David Allen Greer, ends with Walter, the little boy, lying dead in the casket instead of the monster. Is this true or is this false? You muted, Kay.
False. I ain't on an alternate ending. Who had money for that?
They had more than $50 budget, Kay. This is actually true.
Was
And
it the DVD version?
it was an alternate ending to that tale that aired on TV for Tales from the Hood. And if anybody know where I could buy the DVD for that TV series, because I want to see that dark ending where the little boy dies instead of the monster.
Huh. They had money for that? All right.
That's what I said. Where did this money come from to have a whole alternate ending?
And you do know when people normally when they film stuff, they do everything don't make the cut, and you do sometimes film different openings, ending they had more than $50. They was able to put the little boy in the casket and put David Allen Greer in the casket. Like, I don't think that costs a ton of money.
You got to pay for David Allen Greer to come out and do multiple
film. You gotta use film. Now that costs.
That's
true. But yeah, I'm so mad. I feel like, did I see this on TV as a kid and I just don't remember? Like, I want to see that so bad. Who got that? How do I contact that man estate who made that movie? Because I need to get that.
Oh, girl.
Tyra,
Mm-hmm.
which movie was the film debut of actress Julianne Moore? Do you know Julianne Moore?
Of course, honey. And I know my Anthology. That's Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Excuse me, ma'am, because I didn't even get to ask the question.
I ain't want you to waste your time. I know my anthologies. Like, these are some of my favorites. That's definitely Julianne Moore. And then that's one of my like favorite anthologies. That's when they bring back that mommy-fied mommy and it goes on that rampage killing people. Good stuff. Check it out.
You are correct, unfortunately.
Really? Oh my God. I'm so surprised.
Kay, what is the most commercially successful horror anthology of all time? Which movie has made the most money? The Twilight Zone movie, Creep Show, or VHS?
I'm gonna say Creep Show because I don't remember the Twilight Zone movie. Now I would say the Twilight Zone itself was super successful. I don't know about no Twilight Zone. Ain't that the Twilight Zone movie? Wasn't that the one they were trying to make where them children died? Maybe that's just me, but and I didn't hear of VHS until like a couple years ago. I'm just say Creep Show.
You are incorrect. It is Twilight Zone with 29 million.
Oh yeah, that was classic. K. You never watched the Twilight Zone? It's really good.
The show, not the movie.
Well, I'm opposite. I watched that movie and not the show.
Oh yeah, I watched the show any day. Well, wasn't there that show though? The one that the man that had and the kids died. Was it Twilight Zone?
Y'all the ones into Anthology. I ain't never seen that movie.
It's good. It's a scene in there with Dan Aykroyd. It's really, really good. It's really scary.
I like Dan Aykroyd.
Then it's one of those movies where it's like all these nefarious things happen on set, so they think that the set's haunted type of things, like Poltergeist.
Okay, so yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Then it was Twilight Zone. See, I knew it was one of those cursed films. Now I know this
You
one.
ain't know nothing, Kay.
I know this one. I know this one right here. I know this. I said, why you ain't give me this one?
I bet you do. Why she ain't give me the other one and give you this one? She be off the TV.
I don't know what's gonna pop up. Okay, Tyra, what was the original title for Scream? High School of Death, Scary Movie, or Woodsboro?
Okay, High School Death is trash. Hell no. I think that's one Nikki just threw on there. Scary Movie, that's too on the nose with the other franchise of Scary Movie. And Woodsboro is where it takes place, that little town. So I'm gonna go with Woodsboro, child. It better not be nothing else.
It is Scary Movie.
Oh, really? That name is Scary Movie. That is, I like that. Did the Wayans brothers know that and just take that?
I wonder, because that was the original title. Even I think they say even while they were filming, it was Scary Movie, and then it changed to Scream at the end.
Who this came in here? It said Scary Movie. I told you. With this, you got this Scream Ghostface icon here. That is ridiculous. Wow. Why you give me this one?
Kay, what was Stephen King's first screenplay? Pet Cemetery, Creepshow, or Thinner?
The first screenplay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wasn't it Creepshow? He was in Creepshow too. Was it because he was like young looking in that? Was it Creepshow?
Creepshow 1982 was the first time that he specifically wrote a screenplay for a movie. That is correct.
Yeah, that's when
I
he was
only
on
know
the
that because
drug.
he made a little cameo in there.
Yeah, he did make a cameo in Creepshow.
There's no acting ass.
And that was our horror trivia segment. A shout out to the 60 people with us in this live for KillerCon today. Kay, are you a fan of anthology horror? And what is your favorite anthology horror movie?
I definitely am, and Creepshow. Yeah, 80s. 80s. I love Creepshow. That is, and I don't know why. Apparently my mom and my older sister are also 80s horror fans because I just remember watching that all the time. And yeah, Creepshow, I still watch that on a regular basis. So I love anthology. I don't know why you don't like anthology horror. I love a good anthology horror.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. Tyra, we know you're a fan of anthology horror. What is your favorite multiple anthology horror movie?
So many. Creepshow is always that. Like I said, my first introduction to horror was Creepshow 2. That's like pretty much like the first horror movie I can remember discovering myself. And then that kind of rolled over into more anthologies, more horror, and watching Tales from the Crypt. And then it was just horror movies after that. So it's definitely Creepshow 2. Thanks for the ride. Thanks for the ride, lady. I love Creepshow. Cat's Eye, another Stephen King situation. Doesn't get a whole lot of love. I love that. Body Bags. I like Body Bags. Like the first story in Body Bags is solid as hell. Everything else is a little get a little
now,
shaky.
which one is the first story in Body Bags?
That's where the lady, she's working at the gas station, the black lady.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what I didn't like when I saw Body Bags. I felt like it went down after that story. Like I was like, y'all gonna peak with the first story.
Yeah, that one. And then I think it's the one with the cat. By the time we get to the segment with the guy in the hair and the follicles, that's when he gets.
Yeah.
Go on off the deep end, and then we end with the person in the eye. But Tales from the Dark Side, like I said, shout out to Julianne Moore. Tales from the Dark Side was really, really good. I loved it's undefeated. That story, the one with Rae-Dong Chong, and I think she's a Gurgile, or she transforms into one at night, and then she comes and she's this beautiful woman. But like, if you want me to stay this way, you can't tell anybody that I am one. And he says it to her, and she transforms, and then them little kids transform too. Classic, love that. We already talked about the Twilight Zone. And VHS, I really enjoy recently the VHS franchise and what they have to offer. And I just watched something on Shudder, not just, but a couple years back. I think it's called Scare Package. It wasn't great, but a lot of the anthologies now aren't really, really great. But that one in VHS are ones, or even the Christmas one. I didn't think it was bad. I think it's called A Christmas Story, if I'm not mistaken. I should look that up. There's a Christmas one. It's called A Christmas Horror Story. That's what it is. I think I saw that on Shudder, and it has Santa Claus and all these little demonic elves and other stuff happening. I thought it was pretty epic. I thought it was cool for what it was, especially holiday themed. And I'll just say Trick or Treat isn't bad. I know a lot of people cannot stand Trick or Treat. I think Trick or Treat is cool. I love the little dude running around with his little sack of bull and killing folks. I don't think it's bad. And then I think the last one, I guess an honorable mention would be All Hallows Eve, just because that was the first time and the first conception of the Terrifier. And then, he eventually got his own franchise.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed the Christmas Horror Story one. I tried to watch VHS. I can't remember which one. It may have been the very first one. I cut it off after like 10 minutes because it irked my nerves so bad. Wait, no. Wait. I didn't cut it off. I fast forwarded because I was like, I want to get to the horror because I was annoyed watching those men just be vile human beings. And then I got to they were in a hotel trying to hook up with this girl. and she turned into a monster or something. And then I fast forwarded and they were in the woods. I couldn't really get into just like sitting through it. And Trick or Treat, I actually tried to watch for the first time this week to prepare for today. I cut it off after like 10 minutes.
Trick or Treat. I thought Trick or Treat might be up your alley. It's not, it's not perfect or anything, but I think it's pretty decent enough for like a watch all the way through. No,
because it first cuts on. And old girl who used to play on the WB, she gets killed off camera. You don't even see her get killed. And I actually was a little intrigued when the little boy is trying to steal candy and the guy comes and poisons him with the candy. But those girls that we have to follow with the little token black girl and the virginal white, I was sick of them. So I cut it off.
It's that, and then it's did you get to why we had to follow those girls in the transfer? I don't want to ruin it.
I cut it off after like 10 minutes.
But no, it's a reason that it's a setup for something else. You gotta watch it.
Them girls got on my nerve. They're the most like cardboard cutout characters. I just was like,
it was on purpose. You have to. I think that's the one scene or the one anthology in that film that are people like if they rave about how much they like it. It's normally that one.
Okay, maybe I'll try and sit through it one day.
Don't force yourself now. Don't put yourself.
No, speaking of sitting through something, I know this ain't anthology, but it's horror. Tyra, did you finish Silent Hill?
I didn't. I try. Okay, now look, I'm gonna go back.
Tyra,
I'm gonna go back. That's them two. That's where I don't be at. Once again, another honorary horror anthology. Watch Black Sabbath from I think it's 1963 or 65. Good stuff. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it. I think what happened was the first one I tried to watch ever was the second installment, and I just
that's bad. That one is bad.
Yeah, maybe that's what the
with Jon Snow.
Yeah. I'll try it again.
Now I'm with you. That little girl cannot act. I don't know why she gets so many movies. Silent Hill. She's terrible. But the movie, and I actually don't care for the lead lady who plays in Pitch Black, but the movie is good and the visuals are amazing. Like it's actually really good. And I feel like you would like it because you don't get no boobs, but you get some good gore.
I'll try it because I'm always kind of perplexed with horror themed video game movies. They're always a little like, and Silent Hill is a video game. It's like like Resident Evil, but like there's joy in a lot of especially that first installment of Resident Evil. So I'll push through it.
I still remember watching Resident Evil for the first time with my mother. We loved I didn't even know it was a video game back then when I first saw it. And that was one of my first times seeing Michelle Rodriguez. She played in I think it was like an independent film where she was like a female boxer. And then I saw her in Resident Evil and I loved her. I was obsessed with her, obsessed with that movie. I think Tyra mentioned the scene last episode where the black guy's trying to make it through that little room with that laser. And I swear he deserves, you ever have those characters that deserve their survival? Baby deserved to survive. It irked me so bad that thing was like, no, sir, we got you. Like it was like a gotcha moment. But
shout out to Miss Lisa for the Cash App. I see you, Miss Lisa. Thank you so much.
That's my mommy.
Yes, don't say nothing like that. Don't even do that. You know how you be acting.
It's so funny because when I tell y'all I do not have the mother that, oh baby, that was great. Like she gonna always be honest. And do you want to know what she said? You want to know who her favorite person is on my panel? It ain't me. He calls her the nerd. I like the nerd.
That's my name. That's my name. That's right. I'm gonna nerd it up every time until Nikki comes over to the dark side and becomes one of the. There's plenty of horror anime. There's plenty of horror.
She got her anime points up enough yet to be over there with you and stuff.
I'm gonna give you some good horror anime, and you gonna come on over here.
She say, I like the nerd. She remind me of me. I like the nerd. I be like, excuse me, ma'am. But as we mentioned earlier, I think it was either Kay or Tyra about how when people talk about, we got the craze of elevated horror. That term, first of all, irks me because horror has always been elevated. Horror has always had something to say. And Why do the elevated horror fans forget about Tales from the Hood, Kay? Why do they not mention They Live, Tales from the Hood? Like, we have always had these moments in movies and horror that have something to say. It's not just slocky horror.
Now, Nikki, you want me to answer this question?
You fresh out the NAACP meeting, so I know you got some fuzz.
So apparently I have to take it there. She gonna cut this trim this part out so she can get monetized. So y'all want me to go there and become the captain of the NAACP again? Let me get comfortable while I answer this question. I gotta get comfortable. I have to get all the way in my blackness to answer this. Okay.
She finna cosplay for us a bit.
Where she put her hat from? Where was that? Did you have it on deck just for this question, Kay?
I love Kay because what the hell? Where did it come from?
Because the whites don't want to watch Tales from the Hood. Okay, they don't want to admit the in their mind racism is not scary. They don't like it. They in their mind racism is woke. They don't think that Tales from the Hood is horror because they want to call it woke. They don't like woke. Every time they throw woke out is because there's black people in a horror movie. That means they don't need no white savior. There's white people dying. There ain't no magical Negro. They don't like to see black final guys and black final girls and all that kind of stuff. And that's why. It's in their mind, it's woke. It's too many black people in it. They don't like social commentary in their horror movies. And that's why they don't forget about it. They know it's there. They purposefully ignore it because they don't want to watch it and they don't want to admit the things that are taking place in these horror movies that actually matter to us in our community. That's why. Nikki, you brought me to here, okay? I left the NAACP meeting, a while ago, and I didn't plan to return to it to tomorrow to watch Fight Night. But since we're here,
I knew Kay would give us something good with this question. I completely agree with every single point you just made. Tyrone, why do the elevated horror fans forget about Tales from the Hood?
For everything Kay said, it's because it's black. That's the only reason. It's because it's black and how black it is. Like, it's not just filled with black actors. Like, no, there are black themes through and through this movie. If they have to admit that this is elevated horror, then we are admitting to racist police officers, need for reparations, race and politics. It's all kind of things in the forefront of this film that you would have to like hold a mirror up to yourself and digest these things properly. And everybody don't want to do that. And then they're just never going to give us those accolades, because then you would have to admit that we executed something and did it well. And it's just really good. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They rather not even mention this and claim we can give it to, Jordan Peele now and go like, oh, that's elevated or this, that. Like, no, this was elevated just as the freaking Candyman from 91, 92, whatever, 93, I think. That was always elevated. But then we try to take it and move it here and make it something else. There are always horror movies out with a statement and a message, in a moral complexity or a social commentary or whatever they're trying to deliver. But for some reason, we just didn't negate those. And I think we do that because aesthetically, it may not be as elevated as something that's delivered by A24, because that's where they say all the elevated stuff is. So it's over there with the A24 folks visually. And they tie that into not only the storytelling, but visually, it's just so elevated. Look at these heightened visuals. And maybe Tales from the Hood may not be all of that. It's just really good storytelling, and it's fun, and it's black. But yeah, we're never going to get that. Unfortunately, Tales from the Hood will never be mentioned in any conversations ever. No.
It's so interesting to me because when people talk about elevated horror, the movies they reference and the reasoning, like what they consider, I'm like, isn't this like the poster child of elevated horror? Like, it has a message, it's deeper, it's not just slocky gore, blood, because they feel like, we got the dumb horror fans that just want to see blood and boobs, and the elevated horror fans, that's the sophisticated. What did Tyler Perry call us?
Uppity Negroes, child.
Like, I'm like, Tales from the Hood is literal the epitome of what you guys are saying was always missing from horror. And even when you think about like The People Under the Stairs, that's another like poster child for elevated horror. That is literal what you guys are calling elevated horror. But I also find it interesting, of course, that People Under the Stairs and Tales from the Hood and stuff like that.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. Left out of the elevated horror conversation, but it's also curious that the white movies are left out. The They Lives are left out of the elevated horror conversation. I think They Live is 100% in the realm of what they are considering elevated horror. I halfway be feeling like you have to be a new horror fan because I don't believe elevated horror. Like, this new wave, no, horror has always had something to say, but it's not just the new horror fans. It's people that claim to have been lifelong horror fans that are like, oh, this is elevated and this has something to say and this is art. And I'm just like,
that's when I get back. That's why I said visually, because visually it's just like, oh, this is like, no, it's first of all, it's a different time, a different budget, a different, film studio. Like, horror is in the forefront, so people are giving those budgets to do way more than they were before, and they're able to execute these scripts and visuals and cinematography in a different way. You just couldn't do that back then. So like,
right.
Why even? So they just give it that leverage just because it looks more appealing. I don't know.
And I will be honest, like, there's a audience for everything, but I think the whole A24 and what is his Beau is Afraid, I call it pretentious. Like, I feel like it's
I don't like A24. I don't know. They be doing some weird stuff over there.
Like, I don't know. And even what was that horror movie? Oh my God. Kay, Tyra, did y'all see this movie? It either came out last year or early this year, where it looks like you're watching an old busted VHS tape and you just looking at white walls and little kid toys, and you looking at the crown molding. What was that movie? There's no real dialogue.
What you talking about too? Because I know exactly. I cannot think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Guys, what is that movie? And everybody was raving about it, and it was just, I'm like, what is this? Like, I feel like people are just,
yeah. I don't know.
Okay, y'all, it either came out the end of last year or early this year, and it's an independent film, and you see crown molding. It looks like you're watching a staticky VHS tape. You hear little kids. You see like a kid toy. Like, literally, there's no story. There's no dialogue. It's just shots in a house, and everybody was raving about this movie. This is art, and this is elevated.
Oh,
Skinamarink, thank you.
Yeah, I skipped that. I skip anything that's a Skinamarink, anything. What is that? What is that? The little man, the anything. Yeah, I'm not watching that. Absolutely not.
That's what I'm like, am I crazy? I feel like, and I'm not saying like, oh, you can like anything you want to like, but it's like the people who like a Skinamarink and go up for it, they trash other horror, and it just feels pretentious to me. Like, I don't want to see random shots of crown molding. I'm sorry. I want a narrative. I'm sorry. I want a story and characters, and I don't want to look at a tricycle in the corner of the room and like
I'm gonna go look at it just for how you say crown molding like 5 times.
Literally, I swear to God, that is the movie.
Tyra, you didn't like Hell House, so I don't know how you gonna survive Skinamarink.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue. It's like some little whispery low talk for some kids. You got to try and hear it. You literally see crown molding. The shots are, and then everybody is just going up like, oh, this is art, and this is what filmmaking is. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right.
Kay, do you think we still need social commentary in Black horror? Because, I personally feel like, get us out the hood, just have us be regular characters. But do you think there is still a valid point to be made and a valid space needed for social commentary in Black horror?
It's not a matter of if we need it. I think it can be done. It doesn't have to be in every single movie. We don't have to make a statement with all the things, but we don't necessarily have to wipe it out either. It doesn't have to be extinct, but it don't have to be present. It's not necessary to have a horror movie. But if you can say a message and then put it in a way that it's along the lines of the movie without trying to make that overshadow the horror part, it's a whole different thing. But because just sometimes it's part of the Black experience, it's fine. But it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be there all the time. But if you know how to do it in the right way, then do what you do.
Tyra, do you think we still need social commentary in Black horror?
Let us miss it for a while. I think, it's like you don't miss a good thing too. Let us miss it. We have never had any time to miss it. I'm at the point where it's like a shock if there isn't any social commentary in a Black horror. Like, oh, we're just Black and we're in a horror movie. Oh, okay, I didn't expect this. There's always a need to attach that. I don't mind it. It just seems like now that that's there, we can't be in anything else, and it's kind of pigeonholed to stay there. And it's like they're not even greenlighting scripts anymore for Black horror if it's not social commentary attached. I don't see that with anybody else or any other, groups of people. It just seems to be us. So I would like to get out of that because I think we could explore and really see what we're capable of in the horror space. Even when we're getting into Jordan Peele, and no spice to Jordan Peele, but I like that he, even though I didn't really care that much for the film, like he got to do, Get Out and got to do Nope. Like it's, two different things. Like I just like to see the dimension and give people room to grow and not just pigeonhole us to social commentary. But it doesn't have to just be done away with and not completely exist. Just let us miss it for a little while. I'm sure we'll be okay. We'll live.
I literally feel like I don't want any more for like the next 50 years. Like I don't want any more the angry Black girl and her monster where we in the projects and it's a cop killing somebody, or even we have a new horror movie coming up either the end of this year or early next year called The Legend of Johnny Jones about this Black guy who grew up in the hood. Like, can we not have that for the next 50 years? But what I find really interesting is as much as I cannot stand, like, Tyra says she don't mind it. The Legend of Johnny Jones. Yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It starts with in the hood. We don't have to. That's what I'm just like. That don't have to be the basis. It's just like it ain't got to be the basis of every story.
Yeah, it's like it irks me so bad. As much as it's like the movie Parallel that came out earlier this year, it was just Black people in a sci-fi story. They didn't have anything to do.
Wait, it says set in the housing projects of New Jersey. A young man that has only known poverty and abuse his whole life suffers a mental breakdown and goes on a killing spree.
Because what else are we doing but in the housing projects and growing up in poverty?
What?
Yeah.
No, okay, what was I just telling you about? What's the trailer we watched last night for the Halloween? Is it Mr. Crockett?
Mm-hmm.
The little creepy Black Mr. I was like, this is different. I'm here for it. It's a all Black cast from what we could see. It's Black, a Black villain, Black kids, Black, and it's just, it's just a horror movie from what we could see. There doesn't seem to be any social commentary tied to it from what I could see. And I don't even really just be checking for Hulu, horror editions like that. I was like, I'm going to check that out. I'm curious because it's just, this is a Black cast and it's just a Black horror film. There's nothing else attached to it.
That's why I'm like, I just want us to not, like, when you read that synopsis, Tyra, I'm like, literally, he grew up in poverty. He's in the housing like, why does that always have to be our stories? But I also feel like as much as I want us to get away from that, can we even get away from stuff with us being that way? Because I feel like being Black is just going to automatically always be political, because if we're in a movie, they call it woke. Like, just because it's a Black, it seems like us just being Black is political. So I feel like, can we ever even really get away from that?
I see Danny Turturro, the dude who played Hercules back in the day, Tom Sizemore, Clifton Powell, aka Pink Nook. Like, what we got? It's some cast here.
It is, but why we got to be in the hood and in poverty? That, I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I'm gonna support Black people in horror, but I'm annoyed.
The
The Legend of Johnny Jones. Where do you even find this? I've never heard of it.
Like Dane C say, I be checking. I be
Red
checking for horror at every turn, at every corner. Yes. I'm just like, Lord Jesus. And I would be very interested to see if the big channels, because I didn't see any of the big YouTube channels covering the angry black girl and her monster.
We ain't see the front room, the deliverance. Like they don't, that's another topic for another day. The big channels, which are mostly white tea channels, they don't touch the black horror movies. They rarely talk about those. We were looking to see who was talking about the deliverance, who was talking about the front room with Brandy, who was like, the movies were not there. I was like, oh, well, okay.
Now you know they gonna cover Halle Berry movie because you know Halle Berry is a different round. They gonna cover her.
She's Skeletor. That's legendary right there. She's one of the legendary blacks we're gonna talk about.
And now we are going to get into our horror versus segment. I'm so excited for this versus. I can't wait to see what the ladies are going to pick. So, who is the more legendary performance? Blackula or the what was Clarence Tower? Was he just the funeral home director? What was his name?
He had a name. I don't think. Was it just the funeral home?
I think he's just the funeral home director / the devil.
I'm gonna go look just to make sure. Let me see. Tails. I don't know why that's in my head.
I have always just called him the funeral home director. That's a mouthful. I'm sure that's nice.
Maybe. Let me see, just to make sure. Scroll down. It's Mr. Sims, because it's Mr. Sims' funeral home.
Okay. So who is the more iconic character, Tyra? Mr. Sims or Blackula?
That's hard. That's really hard because I don't want to diss William Marshall over here. Like, girl, that's Blackula. Like, you're talking about, now granted, you know, I wasn't around. I wasn't born to see anything that Blackula or Scream had going on. But once I seen it and saw, like, talk about performances hitting like in black horror hood anthologies, it's the same thing with performances hit in black horror, blaxploitation movies. William Marshall is a damn good actor. Both of these actors give like theater, like trained for years. They do what needs to be done. It's hard. Oh, Mr. Sims, why would you do this, Nikki? It's a hard situation. I gotta go with William Marshall over here. Like it's just executed at a hard. You know when you watch movies and it's like terrible, or like it's just like, oh, this actor is just doing so well. Like they don't know what kind of movie they're in, baby. This not that. You're not gonna get an Oscar for Blackula. He thought he was getting an Oscar for Blackula the way he was performing with them fangs and everything else. Like, I'm gonna go with William Marshall over here. Yeah.
Blackula was my mother's first horror movie. She saw it when it came out. So I know she's going with her mans. Kay, who is the more iconic character?
You got to give it to Blackula. As somebody in my comments said, you know, Blackula walks, so
Mr. Sims.
Mr. Sims could run. We needed to see that so that the other one could be possible. So I have to, just for that and that alone, I gotta go with Blackula. So somebody gotta be the first.
So deep. Like my queen, my beautiful black prince that's down in the. I'm like, oh my god, Othello! It's giving Shakespeare.
My mom the same. My mom used to make sure we was watching any classic movies that had anybody black in it. Y'all got to watch this one. This the black vampire, the black Dracula right here. We got to watch this one.
Shout out to the watch along tonight, because I say the same thing about William here that I say about Angela in Vampire in Brooklyn. Angela ain't know what movie she was in. They are delivering Oscar-worthy performances in these movies. Like, this ain't that movie, Angela. You couldn't tell Angela that she was winning an Oscar for Vampire in Brooklyn.
Angela Bassett thought she was going to win an Oscar for Mr. 3000. She was always putting on her best acting.
Every time. every time. Like, I'm
Like
giving y'all
Angela,
gonna
baby, the whites are not watching Mr. 3000. I'm sorry, you don't have to work that hard.
And that's why they should have been gave her Oscar. And anytime they said
It's the
action,
same
she
thing.
gonna
She's
give you
running.
some action.
I didn't ask her that.
Should I?
What is this?
I love Angela Bassett. Should I have my mother on so we could talk Blackula? Because that is classic black horror. But I wanted this to be hard, but I have to go with Mr. Sims. I just feel like this Clarence Williams, he on another. I'm honed in. Like, you are completely engaged with. You're hanging on to every word he says in Tales from the Hood. It's just iconic. They need to be playing that for the kids in the acting school. Like, that is the bar.
He gonna play it. He's gonna there it is. Like,
I swear to God, I need to know, because I swear those actors did not, the way they jump when he does that, it was authentic. They didn't know he was finna deliver that line like that. Kay, who is the more iconic character, Candyman or Mr. Sims? I don't like calling him Mr. Sims. I like calling him the funeral home director.
I've been waiting for you boys.
Although Clarence gave us a stellar performance, I don't even say this man's name too many times. Okay, I'll say Mr. Sims because he's not gonna come to my bathroom mirror like that. I'm not fooling with dude with the bees right here. I'm not messing with him. Mm-mm.
So I guess Candyman is the more iconic character because Kay's still scared, even though Candyman, because that black lady ain't say his name.
Hey, leave! Don't do that.
I cut this whole laptop off. Unplug it.
Like, Kay,
log off.
You won't catch me on live. Please don't start.
Like, Kay, he literally kills everybody except the person that says his name. That black lady didn't say his name. That doctor, when the Heather, whatever her name was, Helen, the doctor didn't say his name. He kills everybody except. So you gotta say his name to be safe.
So what you're saying is you leaving us for martyr. That's what you're saying.
Are you trying to say you put me on the chopping block?
I'm just saying he kills everybody that don't say his name.
We wasn't gonna kill the white tea woman. We wanted her to be our companion.
I'll check on her tomorrow since she over here playing games.
Tyra, who is the more iconic character?
Oh, child, it's definitely Tony Todd as Candyman. Like, it's not. It's just when I think about just iconic black horror characters, because we don't have many. He's the first person that comes to mind. He was just, and he wasn't the first, like you said. You just had Blackula up here, but he was the first one on like a grand scale in like a movie where it was like, oh my God, he is black and he is a killer. Like he's not a victim. He's collecting victims. And then he has this voice. I just knew, like, watching this as a even a teen, I was like, I wonder what they did to his voice to make it just so menacing. Like, that shit is terrifying. It's nothing. That's just how he talks. I was like, oh Lord. I don't care how many scenes or horror, whatever I've seen, or nothing scared me as much as him calling to Helen in that parking garage. That would shake me to my core. Way back when, you couldn't tell me, like, I ain't who getting the Flintstone vitamin out the cabinet. Not me, Mom, because he coming through medicine cabinets and I'm not opening it. I'm not doing it. Like, I gotta go with Tony Todd.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's the thing. Like you said, he may not be the first, but as much as I've heard people complain that they don't like that the movie was centered around Helen, I would say Candyman is more iconic because he crossed. If you go to one of the white tea people, they don't know Blackula, but they know Candyman. Like, he crossed over on a grand scale, like Tyra said. Like, it just put him on a whole nother level.
Like, allure. I think that put him on a whole nother level, too, because it's just like the Bloody Mary. Like, it became an allure or like a sleepover type of tradition. Bet you won't go in the bathroom and say, it's like, I just can't. This is getting real Ebony Players Club. I just came to dance for y'all. That's all. I ain't come up in here to be playing these shenanigans.
You grew up in the 90s. If your cousin and older siblings didn't lock you in the bathroom, cut the lights off and say that man's name.
This is a
You did not grow up
sleepover.
in the 90s if this didn't happen.
I'm not trying to die during a sleepover. It just became really iconic in that way and attached to where even your kids, even if they ain't seen this movie, they're gonna know who this is.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, who is more iconic character, Tyra? Bitch ass or Mr. Seals?
The audacity. How dare don't you ever put Clarence Williams III next to this bitch ass, okay? Don't even put this mention on nothing. Peace to this brother. He did what he could with what he had. No, there's no comparison. This is a crime. It's gonna be Clarence Williams. I'm not even finna justify this with more than that answer. Take it away.
Tyra, Kay, who is the more iconic villain? Is it bitch ass or is it Mr. Sims?
Bitch ass had on a tuxedo with
A tiny tuxedo.
a tiny tuxedo with a leather ski mask, talking like Batman from The Dark Knight. I can't even take you seriously, sir. I can't. I'm not playing.
Talking like Christian Bale in the Batman.
And the next game that we're gonna play.
In the next game,
It's Connect 4.
we have to
And if
play.
you lose.
Y'all, the only reason we even know what this is because Nikki made us watch it for a past Killer Con. Go down the list of Killer Cons. I can't remember what episode it is, but we did.
I will never forgive her for this.
Game.
I will never forgive her for this movie.
Because I literally was the only person on planet Earth that watched bitch ass when it came out. So I had to bring y'all into the phone.
Crime. All this crime. Deception. Deception.
Don't get this man off my screen.
Disgrace.
I don't even want to look at him no more.
Oh, girl, could you please? Can you please?
I know this is going to be a really hard one for Kay. So
I know why you did this on purpose.
I'll let Kay go last because this is going to be hard for her. Tyra, who is the more iconic Black horror character? Is it Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection or is it Mr. Sims from Tales from the Hood?
Oh, it damn sure ain't Michael. Yeah. Michael Myers. Yeah. It damn sure ain't Busta Rhymes. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Who the hell told Busta Rhymes to do a round off kick in Halloween movie with Michael Myers? Whoever did that needs to go to the hot place. This is terrible.
Oh my God.
Mr.
I'm
Sims.
literally crying.
Mr. Sims. Yeah. Michael. Yeah. I've been waiting for this. Yeah. What are you talking about? No, hell no. I
had
hate
so
it.
much fun putting these verses together.
I hate it so much.
Now, Kay, I know this your man's. Who is the more iconic Black horror character? Is it Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection or Clarence Williams III in Tales from the Hood? I know this hard.
Y'all not finna. You know you're wrong for this. Y'all not finna play with Busta Rhymes being a final guy because y'all be skipping over him. Okay, he lived and he went toe to toe with Mikey over there and survived. Okay, he was trying to be hardcore. And yes, okay.
Yeah.
He said he was like, because he was watching them kung fu movies. He was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, he was doing woo ha, and he got him like he won though. I bet he lived. Now they finna play on Busta Rhymes and Halloween Resurrection.
Okay, no. Hey, Mikey. Hey, little Mikey. Yeah.
My man was prepared for this fight his whole life.
No.
There is nothing better than Tyra imitating a character.
I can't stand it because why? That is my least favorite Halloween movie. I'm just not.
It was my favorite because of this. He was ready. He squared up with Michael Myers off the strength of watching kung fu movies only. Okay, he had no formal training for this. He said, "I'm watching Bruce Lee. I think I can take him down."
Y'all. He could have took that somewhere else. Y'all. We could have took that somewhere else.
But
Please.
only one Black character on the screen beat a horror icon and that is Busta Rhymes.
Whose decision was that? That must have been in the contract for him to even be in the film. I gotta win. Go put me in the movie. I gotta whoop his ass. That's what it was. That's fine. Whatever. I'm okay on that. I'm okay on that.
Who is the more iconic Black horror character? We got David Allen Greer from Tales from the Hood as Monster, and we got our poor bargain brand Martin Luther King character from Tales from the Hood. Tyra, who is the more iconic character?
Girl, bitch, you already know who it is. It's David Allen Greer. I will whoop your ass, bitch. It's David Allen Greer. We're just gonna let this one be yellow. It's David Allen Greer. What are you talking about? Girl, it's David Allen Greer. Like, much respect to that man, to that brother. He did what he needed to do in the time of his tale. But we didn't expect David to pull up like this. This is the only role that I can recollect to where even he's shows some more diversity in older age, but it's still kind of in the grounds of comedy. This was the one major time David Allen Greer popped out and was like, I cannot be funny. I can, instill a little fear and be a monster. You trying to write somebody and make him look like a monster? I'm here for it. It's gonna be David Allen Greer every single time.
Before we move to Kay, can you say bitch one more time?
Bitch!
Because you gotta give it that David Allen Greer accent.
Kay, who is the more iconic character?
It got to be, because, and I love that we got the black zombie man here, Frankenstein looking man, but David Allen Greer, come on now, he was not going out without a fight. Okay, he was crumbling that paper, and he was still going off. Like, I don't care if you're gonna take me down, I'm gonna talk my stuff until the last minute that I can't say no more. You got to give it up to him. Got to.
And it's so funny to me, you was going up for that high yellow teacher. He got his tail whooped. He came in there and he didn't even do nothing.
Useless. Useless. Rusty, you couldn't. Rusty say, no, I'm not even gonna write that on that man. We ain't go. He can't fight. I'm gonna just write him as, just a little simp in here. Actively
like, what's the name, Daddy, and Divorcing the Black? Hey, you show up with that thing on you and still got to beat down. What you there for?
Because he jumps out the car like, oh no, he can't be whooping on the wife and the kid. Let me get in there. What the hell?
It ain't do nothing.
Nothing.
Just high yellow and useless.
Bitch.
I really, like, am I the only? I really hope David Allen Greer understands, like, you are such an icon, and I just hope he knows that. Look, I got a black Oscar for you, David Allen Greer, and Clarence Williams III, because legendary. Which movie is more iconic, Kay? Get Out or Tales from the Hood?
Now why you do that? Commercially, Get Out, but amongst the but Tales from the Hood is a hood classic. So I'm gonna say commercially Get Out, but amongst our community, Tales from the Hood.
Well, just an objective view of the movies, which one would you say is more iconic?
I don't know. They're iconic for their own reasons. Like, I mean, Get Out got
one got to come out on top.
I'm gonna say Get Out, only because it brought us into it said that we can do horror too, and we can not only do it, but it's worthy of being at an award show. It's worthy of recognition. Like, stop putting our movies on Tubi.
Tales from the Hood should have been at the award shows.
But it took Get Out to get there, though. It took all the way for Jordan Peele to do it.
The only person I'm giving an award to in Get Out is what's baby name? Lil Rel. And I'm giving a lot of awards for performances in Tales from the Hood. Hakeem get an award, Clarence Williams III get an award, David Allen Greer get an award. That little boy
Lil Rel knew the truth the whole time and saved his friend.
Right. Tyra, which movie is more iconic?
How can a boy break both arms and legs while rolling down the steps? I don't know. The boy must have had weak bones. It's gonna be Tales from the Hood, okay? That line takes me out every time. I don't know. The boy must have had weak bones. It's going to be Tales from the Hood. Like everything that Get Out showed, it was displayed here first in Tales from the Hood. Like it's just a different time period. So of course the execution and the budget, everything is different, but there is a heightened sensibility from Tales from the Hood that's just like Get Out. There's social commentary there. And we did it 4 times. We did it 4 times with different tales. Like I guess in the realm of Get Out, that would maybe be more in a sense of that first tale that we get. But like it's there. And I think we which I try not to do because the movie is called Tales from the Hood, so that hood attachment is on there, and we get like, oh, that's a good horror, like hood classic. Like, no, this is a good movie in general. Like hood or not, black or not, it's very well written, and I think it needs more praise for that. Get Out is Get Out, but and it's for our, I guess more so our generation, and now as like, okay, see, black movies can perform and can be executed well in horror, but this was one of the ones that did it early on, way before Get Out. It's gonna be Tales from the Hood, bitch.
Yeah, I would absolutely choose Tales from the Hood over Get Out any day. Like, and I feel like I rewatched Tales from the Hood way more. Like, Tales from the Hood is such a staple. If I ever had kids, I gotta indoctrinate them into horror. And one of the first movies I'm pulling out is Tales from the Hood. Like, they gonna eventually see Get Out, but Tales from the Hood is gonna be like.
Said, Mom, this is long. A little length on it, but you got to stick with it. Like, yeah, this is must see. Both of my kids have seen Tales from the Hood. I can't say the same for Get Out. Maybe the oldest one has. Maybe the oldest one has seen Get Out, but my baby, my little one, my 6, almost 7-year-old, he can sit and yes, he is watching Tales from the Hood. If anybody got something to say, but he can sit and he's going to enjoy it and find some amusement in it with just the setup of Get Out that may not click him or really just get his speed. And I'm trying to think, there was never a moment in Tales from the Hood where I was like, brother, can you put how long? Like Rose keys, Rose, give me those keys. You supposed to be gone, brother. You supposed to be gone. What you talking about, Rose keys?
Which movie is more iconic, Tales from the Hood or Demon Knight?
Oh, I want to go on that rant like Billy Zane do when he wants them just like goddamn shit, just give it a goddamn key. Shit. I still gotta go with Tales from the Hood, and I love Demon Knight. And I like the performance of Geraldine and Billy Zane. There's some iconic stuff there. But just as a whole, Tales from the Hood is the better film, execution-wise. There are some great elements and things, and I know we talked about them when we discussed Demon Knight. But Demon Knight is very much so a child of Tales from the Crypt and the Little Crypt Keeper. It's very much in that universe. Tales from the Hood is his own thing. You just can't beat them executing 4 stories like well. That's rare in an anthology. Anybody who's a fan of anthology movies, you have classics like Creepshow in the second one and maybe Tales from, but a lot of the times they don't get every single tale to be worth your time. Tales from the Hood did that.
Yeah. I feel like this one is so hard for me because it's sentimental value for me when it comes to Demon Knight and Tales from the Hood. Like, these were staples in my childhood, but I would have to go with Demon Knight because I just feel like when I was a kid, seeing Jada Pinkett be the first Black final girl I ever saw watching horror movies, that just really just did something for me. Like, I just was blown away. Remember when Haley played that princess? Who was she? Cinderella, and all the little Black girls was all excited for their little Black Cinderella. That's how I was with Demon Knight and Jada Pinkett. Like, what princess did Haley play? I think she was Cinderella, child. I don't know, but I remember the Little
Mermaid.
Oh, she was a Little Mermaid. Okay. Well, one of them princesses, I just remember seeing all the little Black girls crying and falling out over her when she was that princess. That's how huge Jada Pinkett being a black final girl in Demon Knight was for me when I was a kid. Like, it was the biggest thing in the world for me to see that. Oh God, but it's hard because it's like picking one of your favorite kids. Like, both of these movies are very well made, great movies top to bottom, and they both have sentimental value for me. They are both staples. They are classics. If I had to name the 50 greatest horror movies of all time, both of these movies would be on my list. Like, they would both be on mine, or at least top 50. Kay, which movie is more iconic? Tales from the Hood or Demon Knight?
And again, I don't know. I don't know if Demon Knight is one of those things that everybody just like. But for me, I love seeing that. And then it was a movie that wasn't technically black, but we had a black survivor at the end, and it didn't even seem like a big deal to most people. But like you said, to me, it was. And why are we not mentioning her when we talk about Final Girls? I'm tired of seeing all these Final Girl listings, and we're not talking about Jada Pinkett and Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. Like, that is just so disrespectful for y'all to just skip over her, because what she earned that spot as Final Girl. Okay, that was a well-earned Final Girl. And it's just one of those of the times movie that is the little cheesiness there, the creepy elements, but I love the story. I gotta go with Demon Knight.
I agree, Kate, because I watch ranking Final Girls, iconic Final Girl. I actually just saw a YT channel, a big channel, do that the other day, and I was like, where is Jada Pinkett from Demon Knight? Where is Sanaa Lathan from AVP? Now, the white excuse me, the white audiences, you can say you don't know Demon Knight, but I know you know Alien versus Predator. Now, I know the YTs know Alien versus Predator. Why is Sanaa Lathan not on the list? Why is baby from
Brandy limping. Still know what I did. Still know what you did last summer. Come limping out. Julie, come limping out of there because she survived. They don't mention Brandy either. We got a couple.
Yeah, that's why I'm like the movies where I know that audience saw, I'm gonna give y'all a pass because I know maybe you ain't see Demon Knight, but I know you saw Brandy and I Still Know What You Did last summer. I know you saw Abra in Dr. Sleep, and I know you saw Sanaa Lathan in AVP. Like, that's white. I know y'all saw them. Why they never on the Final Girls list?
Ain't never on the list.
Don't be on
there. Tyra. What movie is more iconic, Tyra? Blackula or Ganja and Hess?
I would love for more people to have seen Ganja and Hess. Don't nobody ever talk about that. Ever. Ever. When you get into more so bloodlust kind of vampiric genres and like blacks and like nobody, I don't think enough people have seen this movie for it to be considered iconic. I would like for them to have, because I think it's very much so worth watching, and it's very different for the time. Even for blaxploitation, there was something like a Blackula or Foxy Browns and all. Then it was like Ganja and Hess. Like, it was just so different, and it kind of just went under the radar, and nobody ever see somebody as the critical thinker said Ganja and Hess is the ultimate. Matthew said never seen it. Yeah, a lot of people have never seen this. It's definitely worth watching. This was actually the second movie where, because you couldn't tell me, I think his name's Dwayne from Night of the Living Dead. I thought he didn't do too much or nothing. I didn't see him in anything, and I was like, oh, he's lead here. All right. It's a lot of different liberties and cinematography things, just things you wouldn't expect in the 70s in the blaxploitation era from a black horror. But as far as like iconic, it has to be Blackula, just because nobody knows about Ganja and Hess.
And it's a shame that Ganja and Hess is just forgotten about. About. Kay, which movie is more iconic?
I gotta give it to Blackula. Not that to say that Ganja and Hess was not good. Not to say that people shouldn't watch it, because they absolutely should. But again, somebody had to walk so everybody else could run.
And if I'm not mistaken, let me check. I think Ganja and Hess is streaming on Tubi right now. Cause y'all need to go check it out. Let me see. I could have sworn it was.
Everything on Tubi, the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm telling you, when it comes to horror, Tubi is the #1 greatest streaming service from every era. They got some. Yep, it is streaming on Tubi. So check it out. If you, for some reason, can't access Tubi, you can rent it on Prime, but you can see it free on Tubi. It is a staple. Maybe we need to do a whole KillerCon dedicated to just Black horror, because we did one of like recent Black horror you might have missed, but we need to just be just the foundation.
Death by Temptation, completely skipped over.
Yeah, I mentioned I don't think it was in the KillerCon, but I did a solo video on Black horror and I talked about Death by Temptation. What you call that lady a succubus? Ain't that what she called? Kay, who is the more iconic character? We got Fool versus Walter.
Y'all not gonna do Fool like this, because first of all, Fool wouldn't have been in that position. Okay. Okay, look at that face. You can tell he liked to fight. Fool to fight his way out of some situations a couple times. Okay, Fool was right. People, what you think? Fool ain't finna let nobody whoop his hooves. Oh no, you got to get Fool. Fool is a survivor. That's a survivor right there. Whoop who ass, not mine.
Tyra, who is the more iconic final boy?
I was absolutely Fool. Ahmad just looked like Big Mama told me to get everybody together, so that's what I tried to do. Y'all know that's what Big Mama would have wanted. It just looked like it was like soul food, cabbage, cornbread, a few slices of ham tears. It looked like soul food tears. Even though he was really delivering in this role, and then it was brief. He didn't really have time to just really cook. It was just a tale and not a full movie, but he did what he could with it. But it's giving Big Mama told me to get everybody together. Now, Mr. Brandon over here, kiss your ass goodbye, boy. That's a whole different level of commitment. Not only am I not going to get in this situation, but I'm going to come back after I get out and free my peeps. Even the people on the stairs who probably should stay where they was, because it's giving cannibalism. But I'm letting everybody out. I'm freeing y'all. It's going to be, coins and money for the ghetto. We're doing what we need to do. We make it out the projects with this one. That's right. Way to go, Fool.
Now y'all sleeping on Walter because he's a final boy. He survived. He burnt that paper.
And like in that rendition, he survived. Not in the alternate.
I want to see that. Now, who got the alternate version? Yo, I need y'all to tag this director who did Tales from. Please give me an exclusive. Let me have it. I need to see, because y'all know I love something real dark. Who is the more? Now this ain't horror, but y'all know we do not have a lot of Black horror villains in horror, but we got a lot of Black villains in cinema. So we finna get into some Black.
Now, why you play? I ain't gonna never take this beanie off.
Tyra, who is the more iconic Black villain? Is it King Kong ain't got nothing on me, or is it Mr. Nino Brown?
I love me some Nino Brown. If I'll blow your head off clean before you can get your clothes back home. Go ahead. I don't know. Born with the silver spoon in my mouth, Miss Hawkins. I don't know. You got Denzel, like it's different. I don't know, because this was Denzel's like real first breakout role. He had some movie roles, but this was like I Arrived, and then all of the other films came later, and he showed up in the way like nobody else could as this drug kingpin. But just for the caliber of where Denzel was in his career, and for this to be just so expected, you kind of had him over there in the same realm as even though he was before Will Smith, he doesn't play a villain. He's always going to be the good guy. To say this is just very unexpected for Denzel. So to see him transition and do so well as Alonzo was diabolical. I mean, I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. Okay, I have to go with Training Day, and I love you, Nino Brown. I'm so sorry, Wesley Snipes. I'm gonna go.
Okay, who is the more iconic villain?
Ooh, it's another one versus, is it the villain that everybody knows of, or is this in the Black community? This is what is it?
We are
just
we're
are you a wolf, Jake? How like a wolf? Woo!
I don't know. I run here. Y'all just live here.
Exactly. You just live here versus
sit your $5 ass down.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Nino because we had to get Nino before we got Alonzo. Nino set the standard, okay? Nino came in there at 4:30 in the morning with a Rottweiler.
Don't nobody know nothing.
Okay.
I don't know. That's hard. That's hard.
So, which one is more diabolical? Do you think Alonzo would shield himself with a little girl in the shootout?
Did he not? I swear he was gonna grab that little Puerto Rican son or whoever he was, that little boy. He would have shielded his body with his own son. He was about to serve up both of his sons. Did he have his son on the corner selling rocks? I ain't
And
seen
he
it
had
in
a
me.
whole other family. That was Alonzo's side family. We
He
didn't
had a
see the real wife. All we see was the mistress and the kids.
And made Snoop throw them drugs up. I think he was gonna let Jake take the ball and the bullets. He would definitely shield his body with a child.
Would
Nino Brown was
Alonzo?
out there selling Thanksgiving turkeys and hams and stuff.
He was giving them away. He was giving
That's
them away.
exactly. He was having holiday drives for the
Come on,
neighborhood.
man.
He was giving the little kids jobs and stuff. They had a little paycheck in their pocket sometimes. I mean, that might not have been the best thing, but you know what I'm saying.
Look at my shirt, Nino. I'm a vet. Give me a turkey, man.
Come on, Nino man. You got what you got in there, Nino man.
A whole turkey. He got a whole turkey.
Would
Who else you know
Alonzo?
get back to the hood and sell drugs in it at the same time?
Did not.
I can't with Tyra reenactments. I can't even get my.
That's my scene. I was prom queen, King High School. This is beneath me.
Now, who is more diabolical? Because would Alonzo kill his own brother on the rooftop?
Oh, I forgot about that. Forget about that. Oh, he had to go. I'm on the run, G. G had to go. You was messing up stuff. You brought Ice-T into the mix with his eyeliner and blonde dreadlocks. It was just too much. Okay, you had to go. G Money had to go. He was messing up. He was on the glass.
It's right. G Money was on that stuff.
This was business. This was only business. It was business. It was nothing personal. Okay. I don't know. I like Nino. I would have been over there. I would have been over there with Nino. What a high price hoe was. I would have been over there with Nino. I would have been there. You ain't nothing but a high priced hoe. I would have been over there. I would have been a high priced hoe. I would have been over there with Nino. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay.
G Money was flipping over there, getting crying and smoking that stuff, getting mad at these hoes because they want everybody. She was a thought, like Nino said.
Now, in the Black community, it's two actors that are synonymously hated for always playing a villain. Which actor is the most hated, Kay?
It got to be Charles, though. Okay, because you don't pick somebody. You don't put somebody out on their own house. You know, he took her out. I mean, at least old boy over here. You know, he didn't. He might have made fun of Sheila, but he wasn't trying to put her out. You know, of the house. He made sure that her and the kids was taken care of. This one right here couldn't even stop stressing his woman out for 5 minutes for her to have the kids. That is sinister work right there. Okay. Then he wanted somebody to come back and help him out when he can't walk no more. Sir, he can go to hell.
Not the hot place. Tyra, who is more hated in the Black community?
Oh, girl. I wanted children, Charles. It was Charles. It was Charles. At least Mike, with his diabolical self, he was going to let her handle the house in the project. You know, don't worry. Don't think me that. It's got bars on the windows. It's a bad neighborhood. He was at least going, you know, give her a look. Charles was trying to put her out with not a thing. Nothing at all. And at least, like, yeah, Charles was living foul. Charles had a whole other family, had kids and stuff already. Mike was just over there with Tricker, and he brought home that damn trip. But yeah, it's Charles Shaw. He was diabolical. He wanted to break Helen down and nothing.
Shout out to the 61 people with us in this live. Who is most hated in the Black community, y'all? Like, it seems like it's Charles. I'm sorry, baby. You are hated. You know, you know, we ain't got a lot of Black horror villains, but we got a lot of Black villains. But this is a Black horror villain and just a horror of a villain. Who is more diabolical? Is it Darnell from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, or is it Eddie Murphy from the movie that the ladies will be watching tonight, Vampire in Brooklyn?
Naked, the whole of Babylon.
Max wasn't really that. He was just trying to find his mate. That's what he was trying to do. He was just trying to, vampires don't like to be alone. Like Lestat said, we don't like to be by ourselves. We got to have a life partner in mortality. Max wasn't that bad. He just was trying to find his bride. You got, what's the name over here? He played with that lady's heart. She said, don't mess with me. I don't like to do that because of, she warned him ahead of time, and he just kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and got what he wanted to. She said, don't play with me like that. Nah, we got to give it up to you to Martin over here, because he should, and he knew he wasn't no good. He knew he wasn't worth the damn before he went over there. He knew it ahead of time that he wasn't worth it, and pushed it anyway just to prove a point that he could get her. And then what did he do? Left her, and he deserved that right there. He scorned a woman that was already scorned. I can't feel sorry for you, my guy. Nah.
I would absolutely say Darnell is more diabolical. Who you got is more diabolical, Tyra?
Girl, it's definitely Baby Bird sending a nigga back, big Baby Bird. This is my leak. It's definitely gonna be Darnell. Like Darnell he came to steal. He came to steal and break hearts. I mean, Max. I mean, who got it worse? Besides Nikki the whore Babylon. Did he really? He did eat that shit for people on his way up there to Brooklyn. He did. He caught. I mean, we can't naturally pick Darnell because Darnell didn't kill anybody. Max is a murderer. Max is a murderer, even though he delivered on all things good, because we put that macaroni. Once we put the ring on, we was good to go. We wasn't good no more. And Angela is one of the most beautiful vampires I've ever seen in a film. I can't naturally say Darnell, even though what he did was messed up. Nobody died. I gotta go with Max.
See, I gotta go with Darnell because the vampire gotta be a vampire. What, you want him to starve to death?
Exactly. He's just doing his job as a vampire.
Right.
He could have ate some rats and some skunks and rabbits like Louis on the Interview with the Vampire. He could have survived on other blood. Oh, hell no.
Who is more diabolical? God from Into Deep or a homegirl from Players Club? I forget her name.
Girl, that's Ronnie.
Ronnie. Tyra.
Oh, child, this low down when it's another woman setting you up. Like, oh, girl.
We have
a certain expectation from a brother, a man, a fella. But when it's a fellow sister, what's good, new booty girl? Absolutely nothing. You stank hoe. It's just, Ronnie was the first time that I can remember at whatever young age I saw Players Club, and it was like, oh, women are just as predatory. You can't trust nobody. Like, she was the first real predatory woman I saw on film that had an agenda and wanted to be mischievous, if that's what you want to call it, with Diamond just as much. Like, she was over there with her brother. She was clearly, I needed to meet the parents. We need a part 2 where we meet Ronnie and Junior's parents and see what kind of cloth they was cut from, because it was diabolical and stank. But yes, I'm gonna absolutely no splicing. You ain't no Kyle J. Reed. We ain't gonna just completely dismiss LL Cool J, because he was doing what he needed to do on that table with the pool stick. With pool stick and all that other, all of that. It was a whole lot. He did what he needed to do, but just off the strength of Ronnie being a woman, I'm gonna go with her.
Yeah, my mother took me to the theater to see Players Club when I was like 9. And I went Tyra. Now, I did a live with Sister Girl on Film yesterday, a tier list ranking black movie villains. And I said, when we talk about the mob crime era, the Joe Pesci, the Casino, Goodfellas, we need to talk about In Too Deep. That was a performance of a lifetime. I don't know what dark place LL went to get this character. But I would have to go with Ronnie as well, because she set up people to be, the hard R word against women. Like she was evil. Kay, who is more diabolical as a villain?
They already struggling out here being a stripper, trying to shake it to make it, and she made their lives even harder than what it was. Like they already struggling. Why you got to make life harder? So it's got to be Ronnie.
Yeah, she was. Whew, but I mean, In Too Deep is. Oh my God, I don't know why that's not mentioned,
girl. Why? That better not be Keith David and Requiem for a Dream. That better not.
It is.
Oh.
Who is the more diabolical villain? Requiem from a Dream scarred me more than any horror movie could ever. Like, scarred me for life. Is it Keith David and Requiem from a Dream for a Dream, or is it Debo from Friday? Who is more diabolical villain, Tyra?
Oh, girl, ain't nobody got nothing on Keith. Like, I don't care what I see Keith David in. He already got that little raunchy voice, okay? It's already something diabolical in the tone over there with Tony Todd in the voice acting. Oh, you ready? Yeah. He was over there with Princess and the Frog for a reason. He has that voice. He will always be this man. I don't care what he's in. He will always be this little man from this little freak party. It's the same thing with Ronnie. Like the pleasure that these people were taking in these disgusting activities, like it was business as usual. Like didn't have any moral complex about anything. I mean, Debo just took $200. What by yeah? What
he beat up on them women?
Man, that's a female. I mean, Debo, and got his ass whooped, rightfully so. Didn't nobody roll up on Keith. Baby, she brought her little fix and her little money home and lived her best life and did that iconic Requiem for a Dream turn. She was complete. Okay, she was done. Keith David was just disgusting. It was very disturbing the way that it was shot and just his voice, even talking to him on the phone and them teeth and that voice, like, get out of here. No, it's Keith.
I'm telling you, that movie disturbed me. Tyrone, what do you think about Keith David's IG handle being Silver Throat?
Excuse me? What? That's what it's called?
Yeah, I follow him on IG, and his name is Silver Throat.
I mean, that's questionable. I'm sure that's just going into like he has, like that voice, but that's a questionable Silver Throat. That's too close to like throat god, deep throat. It's too close to those. You might not want to put that on there, sir.
I wonder, does he have any grandkids? Because I think he was absolutely referring to his voice, but I don't think he understands. So, where are the grandkids? Because you need the youngest to say granddad.
What? Why would he do that? Why he couldn't just use the voice like he has here in the text under his name? Keith David, the voice. He could have put the voice. Silver Throat. All right, Throat, go for what you know.
Okay, who is the more diabolical villain?
I'm gonna have to say Debo, because if my villain is in jail, I'm hoping that he's in there. And you got to be one determined person to break out of jail for a round 2 of the fight. Like the jail.
He did break out of jail in next Friday.
Y'all forgot that wasn't enough. He was like, he was like, remix.
You think you're gonna beat up on my big brother like that? Yeah.
Like, no, even the jail couldn't hold him. No. And then went to his home, didn't find him in his home, and then found him at his uncle's. You got to be one determined bully to break out of jail and go to several locations to find him for an ass whooping again.
Now, y'all know I love recommending a movie. I would not recommend Requiem for a Dream. That when I say disturb me,
movie, I love it. It's a good movie. Not you, miss. It needs to be bleak. Oh, it needs to be dark.
Yes.
That's bleak and dark.
It was too much. Like that. I think it's the ending scene of the movie with the girl with the dark hair. It's just so disturbing to me. Oh God, I cannot imagine the stuff people do for money or like addiction, and oh Jesus.
I love
Who is the more iconic villain? Mr. Glass from Unbreakable or Killmonger from the Black Panther? Kay, do not bring your bias into this. Who is the more iconic villain? Not who more attractive to you.
It don't even matter. It's gonna be Michael B. Jordan every time. You can put him against anybody. It's gonna be him. I don't care what you say. I don't care who it is. I don't care what movie it is. If he look at me like that any kind of way, it's gonna be him. All of a sudden, yeah.
Why
I
do
can't
you
think
go
straight when I
Kay
see him.
first?
Michael B. Jordan.
I can't with Kate. Tyra, please give me a real answer. Who is the more?
You're not
Mr.
gonna get no real
Glass.
answer out of me
If
when
you
you put him
could
on my
ever
screen.
just be in agreement with what a villain did, even though Killmonger is supposed to be the villain, you can always agree with him and see, and you can see the proof in what he was trying to do and why. You're here for the agenda, because yeah, y'all up here living lavish, share the fruits of the labor, bruh. What's going on up here? You ain't sharing it, so I'm gonna come take it. Ugh. Now, Mr. Glass causing whole 5 car pileups and whatever else to get, to find his opposite, who's unbreakable, and just be down. Just was happy in it. He just was taking off. I was like, bro, you didn't kill so many people, and for what? Yeah, Mr. Glass is a diabolical piece of work, but great at the same time. A really great villain. And it's just good in the premise of like villain superhero. This is the only one that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong I feel like he got right. Okay, this is that one. It's definitely Mr. Glass.
Now you said you can understand Killmonger agenda. You can understand Mr. Glass. Mr. Glass wanted a purpose. He needed to find his arch nemesis. Like, if that's not something to understand,
Killmonger was about at least community and trying to just spread it. Y'all up here, it's great up here. It's other Black people out here struggling. Like, come on. This was all his own personal agenda. Mr. Glass was trying to service Mr. Glass. No.
Look, I'm with Mr. Glass. He was trying. The kids called me Mr. Glass. Like, he was trying to understand his purpose. He had to. What did Terrence Howard tell us in Hustle and Flow? Everybody got to have a dream. You got to have a purpose. But I would go with Mr. Glass. I think Mr. Glass is so MFN iconic. Samuel Jackson is iconic. This performance is everything. I'm obsessed with Unbreakable. That is my movie. And that was our horror versus for today. And, we talked about Tales from the Hood. Tyra, what happened to Black horror? Like, you would think with Tales from the Hood, Demon Knight, People Under the Stairs, like that group of Black horror we got in that mid and early 90s, mid 90s section would have spawned the evolution and we would have seen a growth. But it seems like we've gone backwards. What has happened to Black horror, Tyra?
It keeps having to start over. There's never a continuation of Black horror. Just like with the 70s, and the people sleep on the 70s because it's the 70s, but there was just an industrial amount of Black horror coming out at the time. And then there's a break in the break in the chain, and then we kind of have a resurgence in the 90s, and then there's a break, and it's just never a continuation. So if we keep on starting over, we keep kind of starting over at the same starting point of, okay, well, we're going to go right into these same heels. That it maybe feels refreshing to an audience of a certain group when we're getting into social commentary or themes, but it's like we've been here. So if we see something like Tales from the Hood, and then you eventually are around to see something like Get Out, you're probably going to love it because Get Out is a good film, but it's like we've been here already. It hasn't been steady enough to evolve, so it just feels like we're kind of stuck, or we're just not being seen at all. At least back then, it does seem like we were being given more opportunities, but now it seems like if we are giving opportunities, it's more so indie, independent Black horror projects who don't have the budget, and then that's when we go to the lowest common denominator, which is hood, because the location, what we can afford, what we can, and we just kind of tend to go there because for budgetary reasons. So until we get some more run the funds, as Ashley would say, we're going to keep seeing the same stuff, and it just kind of feels stuck. And then every once in a blue moon we'll get like, oh, remember that one year that one thing came out, and then we don't get anything else, and then everything else we kind of have to seek it out or look for it if there is anything to look for at all.
I feel like it's so interesting you said we keep having to start over, because that's exactly how I feel. I feel like we keep having to start over in the sense that we keep having to prove ourselves. Like we keep having to like climb the same hills. Like you would think we don't have to still kind of fight to have Black final girls. Like we already had our first. We've already climbed that mountain, but it feels like we have to still do that stuff. We shouldn't have to still fight for like Black writers and Black directors in horror. We've already done that. We've already proven it. But it seems like we have to keep starting over and keep proving these things and keep having more like first. Like how you just said with Get Out. It's like when we talk about Black directors in horror, the one person people always say is Jordan Peele. But it's like that's one current that y'all are naming. What about like why do we have to keep proving that we can do these things, we can be in these seats, we can be in these positions? It feels like it's frustrating because it feels like we're moving through mud. Like, are we ever going to be there? Are we ever going to move forward for real?
We are, but for right now, when we do get on a grand stage, or what you could be perceived as one, because The Deliverance was that for Netflix. It was The Deliverance. It was that kind of Black horror. And that's going to cause somebody else, I'm going to get my Deliverance. And then we're just going to be stuck with a whole bunch of Deliverance movies running around.
Because I just feel like, why do we only get like a His House once every 20 years? Or like,
and then that, not to say that I don't count those, but a lot of the things that are, which is, says a lot, they aren't Black American films. They're, from across elsewhere, and we'll get those. It's like they're giving a little more room to wiggle and grow, and not just horror, but just a lot of spaces with production and film and TV shows. And it just seems like here we don't get that same thing. There are a lot of great Black films, but it's rarely here. It's from elsewhere, from yonder.
I'm just like, when we think about, first of all, the genre of horror, it has evolved a lot. Like horror used to not be in the top 10 box office. Now the horror genre dominates the top 10 box office. But I'm like, well, when was the last time we had a Black horror movie in the top 10? It's like, why do we only get slivers of something every once in a while? And it seems like nowadays, if it's not Jordan Peele, it's not going to be in the top 10, like for Black horror movies. Mm-hmm. Kay, what happened to Black horror? From Tales from the Hood, Ganja and Hez, the stuff that we thought was progressing us, to now?
Nothing but gatekeeping. I don't think anything's happened. There's plenty of good Black horror movies out there. There's quite a few, but when people don't want you in their space, they're going to gatekeep so that your films are suppressed, so that you don't get the marketing, you don't get the promoting, and people don't think that you exist. Because we know that there's good things, but there's that. So I just think it's gatekeeping.
It is absolutely gatekeeping going on. I just feel like I'm nearly 40 years old, and I'm like, I would think that the landscape of horror would be so different from when I was a kid, but it's not. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, it's not different. It's still a genre predominantly white. Like, I'm just like, am I gonna see in my lifetime like true diversity in the horror genre where everything being pumped out isn't? It's just like the new movie that came out. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen Alien Romulus, you might want to mute for like 60 seconds. But in the new movie Alien Romulus, I thought it would have been such a great idea to subvert expectations. The movie start where this white character is the lead, she's going to be the final girl. I'm like, why we couldn't kill her off and have the Black kid end up being the final man standing? Because we don't ever, like, that would have really subverted expectations. I'm like, why do we still center the white character? And that's always typically going to be the last one standing and the final girl or the final guy. And I'm just like, why do we still not have I saw movies recently this year, just came out in 2024, where the Black character either dies first or dies second, doesn't survive. Like, why are we still in these places? I just don't understand.
That's where we're gonna be at. That's why you gotta run back old stuff. Like, let me watch Candyman for the upteenth time. Let me watch Bones. Let me watch Attack the Block. It's just nothing here. It's nothing. It's only so many times you can watch Get Out. Only so many times you can watch Us. Only so many times you can watch Blade. So many and we love. Don't get me wrong. I love these movies, but I shouldn't still be looking at Blade or your Candymans or hell even like Eve's Bayou, which is also a elevated horror as standards. We haven't evolved. I don't even think we've had something as subjective as Eve's Bayou since Eve's Bayou. It's with black folks and the black director. No, so nothing. And then we won't even consider that one horror for some people. Whatever it is.
What, Eve's Bayou?
Yeah,
I'm just I feel like I always feel like Demon Knight for me is the poster child for how you do diversity. Like Kay said, it's not a black movie, but we had multiple diverse casts. We had 2 black characters, not just one token, because for some reason in any horror you can have a whole friend group, but for some reason it's only one black person. There is typically only one. I'm like, why can't we have 2 or 3? I just recently, when we did our Let's Play a Game KillerCon, I saw Would You Rather for the first time. We got a whole table full of people. It's a movie where this group comes together to have dinner at this rich person's house. We got one black character. Out of this whole group, you can give us multiple white men, you can give us multiple white women, but we only get one black. Why out of a whole group is it always only one token black character? Why are we still here? Why can't we have Demon Knight? Demon Knight had 2 strong, capable black characters, and one of them is the character that is our final person standing. I'm just Tyra, when the last time a black person survived the horror movie?
Why you
When was the last time we weren't?
Well, we just watched. Technically, we just watched The Front Room in The Deliverance. They survived, but they were lead.
Oh, and Blink Twice. The girl survived. So
Twice,
they survived.
I love how we have these black movies where the black lead is surviving, but it's under weird circumstances where we have all 3 of these women. Deliverance, the lead, she's terrible. Why would you want her to go on and be anything? She's an awful mother, awful everything, but we're just supposed to forgive it because she found Jesus. Okay, that was that. The Front Room, I don't know what the hell they were doing with Brandy. That was a choice. That was a choice. And then we have Naomi in Blink Twice, where we have her to go through all these volatile circumstances. Don't want to ruin it for everybody, but they went through a whole lot just to be final girls. They're not savory final girls to where you would want to put them up on the mantle next to Jada. You know what? That Naomi and Blink Twice, my girl survived. She made it. Yeah, girl. It's just not that. So it is happening. They are surviving. But I will say I can remember more where we don't survive than more where we do. But I will say the last 3 movies that I've seen with us in this past month, every single black character has survived. But
I kind of feel like I don't count the Deliverance. If it's a black cast, of course a black person will survive because that's the cast. But I'm more so thinking of a movie like Barbarian. Barbarian isn't a black movie, but we had a semi-mixed black girl.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that. It's a lot of those. It's the semi-mixed black adjacent male or female lead, and then that's kind of thrown in to say, see, you had a black person not only carry this and lead this film, but they survived. But it's yeah, that's a black person. That's not a black person. It's a black person. It's a whisper black. It's a little razzle dazzle. It's a little black. I'm talking about a black.
Yeah, when I think about Kay, when was the last time we had a black final girl, not in a black predominant cast, that had 2 black grandparents and 2 black parents? Not like Run, Sweetheart, Run and Barbarian when they mix.
Does the girl count from that breaking and entering movie that we were talking about from
Invasive? She counts.
She
She
counts.
got two. She looked like she
made
got two black parents.
Two black
and
parents. She
Well,
did.
my
We saw
bad.
the
You
photo.
know, I gotta remember, everybody ain't like me with only one side. Four grandparents, four black grandparents, two black parents. She looked like she got like, yes, invasive counts. Good one. That's a good one. That was a movie that's not a black cast movie, and we got a black final girl. Shout out to Tubi. Y'all gonna stop trash talking Tubi. Now Tubi be giving us some diversity. Tubi be having the blacks in roles over there. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I just want to know when we gonna see the girls with, and then that's the thing for me. I don't know, is it just me? I want to see the black final girls with
and
four black grandparents.
Kay put her in the chat with the invitation, and you couldn't tell me Black Mama in the invitation wasn't gonna die. I knew she was gonna be martyr for the fire. I knew she was gonna be wood for the fire. I was like, oh,
Nah.
you survived with your man? Oh,
hold on now. Are y'all talking about Masandi with the vampires in that invitation?
No. Well, I don't know what Kay's talking about. I'm talking about the invitation with old baby who played Venom with Tom Hardy. That one.
Oh, when he went to the weird suit of the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She survived. I just knew she was gonna die.
And she black.
Black.
She got four black grandparents. Now, Kate, which invitation are you talking about?
I mean, both of them, honestly.
Well,
I mean, if you want to count
invitation, she mixy black. Escape room, she mixy black.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of. I mean,
but they put that in the forefront as, you know, we supposed to accept it as just black. We don't put mixy on.
Yeah, to me she was dark enough to be black, but definitely Black is Night and definitely Vampires.
Get out of here.
Black is Night, Vampires versus the Bronx. What was the name of that?
No, okay, not the black cast movies. Vampires versus the Bronx, we got a black cast. Movies where it's not black cast and we get a black.
You putting pressure on us now. Look, it ain't that me.
The girl with all the gifts.
Yes.
Okay, good one. She got four black grandparents, and that was not a black cast movie.
And once again, the girl with all the gifts, that's even the invitation. A lot of these movies are a little removed from now. Like recently, no, not as much. You're going to see more of the mixed race.
The Wanda Wise in Imaginary. Y'all might not have liked Imaginary. I actually liked Imaginary. The Wanda Wise survived Imaginary.
If you wouldn't drop Dead Fred, I wouldn't watch it. Nothing about No Imaginary Friend.
No, but she black. She got four black grandparents.
Right.
No offense if you only got one black grandparent and like a white one or Italian one or something. But I'm just talking about that we don't see the black final girls and guys. That's why I really wanted Baby and Alien Romulus to be the last. Like, we don't be getting the blackity black.
The guy from black guys from the movie Tyrone survived. The black guy from Black Box survived.
He a little far away from the sun. Do you think he got four black grandparents?
He looked black to me
because I'm black.
But I don't know. I don't know. I gotta check.
Dude in Tyrone look black to me.
I don't know. He was a little bright. I don't know if he got four black grandparents. I was going to get into the black horror peak with Tales from the Hood, but I think we pretty much covered that in how we just discussed how we have not. We just keep starting over. Like, just keep starting over. We keep peaking and then falling and then peaking and falling and peaking and falling. And now we are going to get into our last segment, which is our viewers' choice segment. So send us your horror questions, horror verses you would like to pose for the panel, et cetera, et cetera. And is this Tyra?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Young C, for the $20. I appreciate it. Oh, you want me to read it?
It's your super chat, baby.
Oh, I mean, you, this is your life. The ending should scare people because it is real. Child, we so far. I don't even know. Maybe maybe it's probably for Tales in the Hood. That's what I got from it, John. Oh, not you quoting the Bible. John, 8:24.
We heathens, young C. We heathens, but go ahead, read the Bible quote.
Therefore, I said to you that you will die in your sins. If you should not believe that I am He, you will die in your sins.
You know what? I think he's talking about the ending when they Harlem shaking in the fire, and
Yeah.
that's what it should, yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't believe what's going on. It's definitely that. Thank you so much, Young C, for the $20. If you are still in here, thank you so much.
Big $20 super chat.
Yes. Thank you for the $5. Brother with the straw hat spitting all over the mic.
What?
The dolls. The dolls want the house. They don't want you in that house. Get out of that house.
You missed them. It's done before then.
Art Evans gonna yell in the film if he don't do nothing else.
What before what, Kay?
Before those.
Oh, am I not at the top of the super chat?
Yeah, you're not at the top.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Shout out to a new member, Latoya. Ashley with the $2.99 super sticker. Thank you, babes. Ashley with the what was the movie that made you all fall in love with horror? Kay, do you want to answer?
Yes. And I remember it distinctly. And this is another movie I do believe came out on November 1st, which I didn't know until later on. But Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I don't know what it was about that movie. I know I remember watching it. We were visiting friends, and you know how they be saying kids get out of grown folks' business and we got to go somewhere else. And so we were watching this movie, and and I think that's when I realized watching this zombie movie, because it was one of those movies that there's zombies in. I love a good zombie movie, but it's always a little element of like humor in it to like break up the tension of everybody's about to die, but there's some little comedic beats in there. I don't know what it is about Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Not the first, Return of the Living Dead 2 for me. That's when I decided although I was watching horror movies before then, Child's Play, Jason, Freddy, it was something about that movie in particular that made me just be like, I guess the horror got a hold on me for the rest of my life. Had a chokehold on me ever since.
Tyra.
Definitely Creepshow too. I told you it opened up. That's when, back when you had the TV where you could turn the dial on it. Yeah, that I had one of them in my room up watching TV, and I was like, oh, because Creepshow opens up with an animation. I thought it was a cartoon. And I was like, okay, I can watch this. And I was like, oh, this is good. Like I'm liking this. And then from there on, it was just horror everything after that. It was one of them, Saturday, I don't know what channel it was, but they would show old horror movies, and I just started watching them from there.
Shout out to Dane C becoming a channel member. Tommy becoming a channel member. If you guys want, exclusive content and other perks, check out memberships. Swag fan. Is that how you say that?
Swag fan 100 with the $2 said Clarence sold me that they was in hell. He had it. Yeah, Clarence made you feel like they was that's what that Harlem Shake will do.
Oh my God.
Ciao. Okay.
I ain't even trying to talk about this movie. Hell to the no. Nope.
The way I try to block that out of my mind, and
exactly. I don't want to know it.
Somebody brings that movie up. Like, Lord. The strange thing about the Johnsons was very disturbing, very brief. It packed a whole lot of punch for how short it was. I watched it once and never desired to see it again. It's very strange.
Nope.
Versus, what is that, Bo? What is that? Did anybody
Bureau,
know
isn't that Bureau? No, that was 2024, 23. Okay, so that's not Bureau is Afraid, is it?
I'm gonna look it up.
Whatever it is, it can't be exactly whatever it is. It can't be as traumatizing as the Johnsons. Whatever it is, it's
what?
not.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Why
Is
is
this
it here next to? Yeah, but why is it?
Because that's what I thought of was the Joaquin Phoenix movie that just came out, but he got 2011 on here.
Yeah, but why? So he has his the same man from the strange thing about the Johnsons. I didn't know they had a second film. I don't even want to watch it after what they put us through with
I don't want to watch it either.
with them Johnsons. I don't know where he's going with this, and I just don't. I don't want no parts of it. I'm gonna leave that where it is. I don't want any parts of it. I'm actually nervous to know. Like, I didn't know that this man had additional films. Maybe one day we'll do a sit down because this is short. Maybe we'll do a watch along / discussion for that short. I don't know.
They ain't talking about I be in the crate. You was in the crate to get that. Marlon Bellamy, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. My mother with the super sticker for Tyra. Did you have a question? Because you know how you do. You be putting a question not with your super. I can't search the comments for your question. I'm sorry, mama.
Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. She ain't committed. That's all right.
Matthew Wilson, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Without knowing the solution, what movie might you survive? Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, The Ring, Wishmaster, or Why Did I?
Child, why
That's so weird. How long did I get married to get?
Definitely surviving The Ring because I'm not watching the tape. Hello.
I feel like I love Wishmaster. That is my movie. I would absolutely survive because I'm not making no damn wish. Okay.
My ancestors absolutely did not set Freddie on fire, so he ain't got to worry about me at all. And number one, I don't sleep that long anyway. He gonna have to catch me when I can. I would love to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. He might have a chance. Hellraiser, I'm not opening Pandora's box. Ring, I'm not watching that damn video. Wishmaster, you ain't got. I wish a Negro would. And why did I get married to? You know, that might take me down. That might be the only one. And that's the only one that ain't horror. That might take me down through there.
One with them husbands, the diabolical husbands.
Oh, you know what? That need to be my pick because I wouldn't have no damn husband. So I'd be good. And Why Did I Get Married To? I'm definitely surviving that. Perfect Patty Messed Up. Is that the movie that's from?
Perfect Patty Messed Up. That's good.
It's amazing how I've never seen these movies, but I can quote them. New member Tia. Who getting all these members? Shout out to the people.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for becoming members tonight. Love to see it. Can't wait to see you guys for the watch along. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you, Dane. Thank you, Latoya. I appreciate it.
Super sticker. I guess my mom doesn't have any questions today. She's just supporting. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I wish they had this software where we could see
the sticker.
Super sticker. Like, thank you so much to everybody that participated in Viewers Choice. And shout out to the 60 people here with us. Thank you if you've been here with us from the beginning to the end. Thank you if you popped in. Whatever you did, hit like on the video, share the video. Thank you so much for supporting us in our horror panel. Black women talking horror. You know, we here every single Saturday with our KillerCon horror panel. You're going to always have your staples because who do you need if it's not the blurred, the boobs, and the crazy? But we will also have a guest with us sometimes. And once a month, we will be doing our KillerCon after party, which will be our members only. We actually did a really great killer after party last Saturday with Sister Girl on film. I did give you guys like a 20-minute snippet that is available publicly from our hour-and-a-half killer after party that is for members. It is so good. We talked about Speak No Evil, the 2022 original. And now I am going to give the ladies a chance to tell you where you can find them, what they have coming up, how you can support them. And I am going to start with the Blurred that will not let me into the Blurred crew. Kay, tell the people what you got going on.
You can't just walk up in here and just think you're gonna be a blurred, okay? I'm gonna need you to watch some real anime. I'm gonna give you some horror anime suggestions. You're gonna walk right in and you're gonna be happy about it. Then you can come over to the dark side. But yes, we have our Vampire in Brooklyn blockbuster night happening right after this. Get your pajamas on, get your popcorn. We about to get real comfortable. All this lights and mics and stuff, just going away. We about to get real comfortable. Snacks, PJs, be sitting here eating and laughing. Vampire in Brooklyn, y'all. I know this movie by heart. Y'all gonna be laughing. We had one last Saturday with Soul Food. It was hilarious. This one about to be funny, y'all. We're doing this, turning up for spooky season. Vampire in Brooklyn. The link is pinned. Sunday we have fight night and we have 3 women. By the way, my interview with Harold Perrineau from is on the channel right now. Go watch that interview from, I believe, season 3 starts Sunday. So go ahead and watch that interview. Watch from. Of course, we're going to be covering it on Tuesday. Monday, I will be tackling Insecure as we're rotating. We got a lot of stuff coming, y'all. Well, we got Grotesquerie coming, Aaron Hernandez. We're still watching Reasonable Doubt. Y'all just click subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe because we got stuff. The calendar is full. And y'all, okay? Whatever y'all watching, we watching it too. That's all I got. That's what I got for you. What you watching, we watching it too.
Thank you, Kay. And definitely talking about the gatekeeper. She gatekeeping me out of the blurred club. I saw the anime. I saw Terminator Zero. I'm a blurred. Tyra, tell the people where they can find you and what you have coming up. I mean, I know it's gonna be a doozy. Because you got a lot. Y'all like how I threw that word doozy in there because I'm trying to appeal to the white audiences. So I'm saying.
Okay.
Tyra, tell the people what you have coming up and where they can find you.
Oh, y'all already know what it is. Like, your girl's tired because I've been over here putting in work. Just about to finish up my edit for Welcome to the Dollhouse. Be on the lookout for that. 1995 classic stuff. Be on the lookout after that premieres for Training Day. While we was talking about putting cases on all you itches and whatnot doing the live. That video is coming up as well because you guys know that my channel is back working and I'm excited for all of that. Be on the lookout for these memberships and things that are going to be coming down the pipeline for members only folks. Like Kay said, we got a whole lot coming up. From is coming up, probably solo individual recaps and uploads for From, maybe even Grotesquerie as well. Aaron Hernandez is happening within the week. As Kay said, Fight Night, 3 women. There's Insecure on Mondays. Y'all might get a little breakdown of the Penguin. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, and I just feel like I'm doing my best to keep you guys entertained, and I hope that you are. And thank you so much, Nikki, for having us here on KillerCon, where we can be black and talk about horror. So I think that makes us honorary blurs in the first place. But all right, Kay.
Yo, shout out to
I know Ken is something else. Y'all go sub the Sledgehammer Horror.
Ken is so funny. If you haven't watched our KillerCon episode with Ken, he is hilarious. About time someone appeals to me. You have no idea how hard it is being a straight white guy. I'm trying. You know what? We trying to be diverse.
Hello,
we
Ken.
cannot forget the minority group that is never represented, the straight white man. We love Ken. Shout out to Sledgehammer Horror. Are we doing our Demon Night watch along, Ken? Let me know because he left out the Black Final Girl when they was talking Final Girls. He said he never saw
Demon Night.
Demon Night. So we need to make sure we make
He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it.
He is. Because he loved him from Fool and some Tales from the Hood. He gonna love Demon Night.
And for my members, we do have our Oculus watch along tomorrow. I'm not gonna flake on y'all this time. I done flaked the last 2 times. I'm not gonna flake this time. We are continuing our Mike Flanagan watch along series. And I have my Penguin video. I have it edited and it should be uploaded once we finish KillerCon, however long YouTube takes to upload it. And I also have my Species 1995 classic sci-fi horror movie that will be uploaded either later tonight or tomorrow because I am starting my Unboxing the Nostalgia series where I will go back and I will talk about movies that I feel were classic, and I am going to rewatch them and visit them, and I am going to decide, is it the nostalgia or is it a classic? And spoiler alert, is not the nostalgia. Species is a motherfucking classic, okay? Argue with your mama.
The effects on the alien and Species, even Natasha as a model, she was doing what she needed to do. She was acting like an uninhibited human. That's what she needed to give Alien, and that's what she gave. I like Species.
Yes, Ken, I'm an ally. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We are here every Saturday, 5 p.m. Central. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you white, if you a blurred, if you black, if you only got one, black grandparent, if you got 4, everybody welcome to the Killer Con crew, okay? And we will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.